Hello, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving. And I'm giving thanks today for another GV Hidden Cup 2 series. And yesterday we had an absolute banger between Brum and the winner, Noel Gallagher. Just turn the music down a touch. And today we have two more heavy hitters, I think. I was looking at my prediction sheet, and there's two strong names in the slots for Danny Dyer and James Corden. So should be a big one. I also see that Danny Dyer has taken away his daughter's name and is instead using Danny with a Y. It's interesting to see. And also interesting to see that, oh boy, wait, I just saw game one. Danny Dyer is drafting like Boo, which is quite interesting to see. And yeah, I'll be joined today once again, by Paradox. Paradox, happy Thanksgiving. How are you doing?
Happy Thanksgiving. Two Americans celebrating GP Hidden Cup on
Yep.
this glorious
right.
day.
I was a bit late
Did you
because
have Did you have a turkey sandwich for dinner, or is it still too early for that? I guess you could still nip to Tesco before 10. I think you should be fine as long as the game's not going seriously long. You can have a turkey sandwich.
Well, I was nipping to Tesco to get flour and eggs for my pumpkin pie. So I've got the ingredients now. I'm ready to go. I just need to get going once the set finishes. I'm a bit worried because it's going to take a while to make, so hopefully it doesn't go for too long.
Well, looking at the maps, islands could go for a very long time.
Yeah.
But the positive is there's no Portuguese being picked.
Oh god. Yeah, some flashbacks for the players, I think. The Portuguese on islands. It's a bit of a different kettle of fish, I guess, on team games, but yeah, obviously not.
They're still pretty good in 1v1 though, I think.
Ooh.
But
So yeah.
maybe it is a bit taboo. Like no pub players or no UK players are ever allowed to pick Portuguese on islands or team islands.
Yeah, I think so. It's a raw wound. So yeah, maybe avoiding that makes sense. I mean, obviously there's plenty of other fantastic island civs. It looks like we've got some of those. I was looking at Danny Dyer's draft. I thought it looked a lot like Boo would draft it.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking at James Corden's draft. I feel like that's what Boo. Oh, the maps, no, but the civs, I feel like they're Boo kind of civs. Romans is a bit of a spanner in the works, though.
Oh, sorry, James's. You think the civs are very Boo-like?
Yeah.
Yes, I can see it. If Bengalis was flipped to the other side and maybe Japanese.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's two picks that are very early on, but like Italians, Vikings, and mine certainly give me Boo vibes, and then Romans is always a bit of a question mark because it's not a civ that gets played a lot.
Yeah, I need to look at my. So who did I think? Okay, yes. I have down for Danny Dyer someone who would not pick Romans, but I think this person I've got down for James would play Romans. Neom and Land Madness, and also Arabia for James. So assuming from that they've watched the round of 16 game that Danny played and have identified a clear weakness on open mats, or just they just know who they're up against. Basically, they've drafted all three open land mats. So
Yeah, I have an idea who this could be. And there goes the maps. The maps certainly do kind of confirm it for me a little bit. The Romans is a little bit of a spanner in the works. And then for Danny here, my first thought was Boo in the previous round, but I was talking about that kind of love trifecta that Boo,
Yeah,
Dave, and Cappy have, and it's another of these ones where I think it's potentially Cappy or Boo, and then the other one's probably Angel of the North.
I
That
agree.
that's
I agree.
that's my own personal view. But I still think Angel of the North could potentially still be someone like Fanji or Dan as well. That's where I'm really getting
Oof.
hung up on.
Oh god. Well, the thing is, I actually have Dan as going out 3-0
Yeah, the Basil one, right?
to Basil,
Yeah,
which is
which
shocking. But maybe it is actually what happened. It just feels crazy to say that. It was such a
mm,
close set, though.
it's hard to say. It really is.
Mm. Well, anyway,
But
the
we will get to
this
Basil on another day.
we will indeed, yeah. And this set is going to be a brilliant one, and the winner of this goes up against Noel Gallagher, and that's going to be an amazing set as well because, well, there's just such a lot of quality left in the tournament, and it feels like every time now that someone gets eliminated, in a different year, they could have won the whole thing. It feels like so. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of good players are dropping out of the tournament at this point.
And potentially Asin winning the full thing.
Potentially, yeah, yeah, yeah.
We won't we
Cowboy.
won't know we won't know until it's confirmed.
Oh god, yeah. I actually don't know of any idea who Atten is. I think Cappy said he found Atten, which is interesting, but I don't know who he is.
I mean, I'm fairly certain, but we'll see.
Okay.
We shall see. Let's get into game one, Will. We've not seen an Islands game. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, me too. I am excited.
And
Because, well, you go ahead.
no big surprises, Walt. I was just going to say in terms of sibs.
Nope. Um, I think that's absolutely right. We have migration in the pool as well, by the way, which I think explains the Italian pick for James. That it is going to be Vikings on Islands, which I think is the astute choice. Okay, I'm at 10 seconds, ready to go.
Means it.
3, 2, 1, go. And another day, another set, another very solid quarterfinal we have here. James Corden, Danny Dyer, both went through. Actually, no. Danny Dyer went 3-1 against Posh Spice, and I think James Corden took the 3-0 against Liam Gallagher. But both looked like very strong players, I think. And on game one here, Vikings versus Dravidians on Islands, the first time we're seeing this map in the main event. And Paradox, this script can be a little bit funky. And I'm already noticing some interesting differences between the islands, shall we say, between the two players.
Yes. I'm trying to look for anything that could be problematic. And I think the most problem, well, for this part of the game, having the deer behind the wood is probably a little bit annoying, but it's not too bad for James. It's kind of fine from there. The berries at the front here, if you're getting kicked off of berries,
Oh, yeah.
would actually be kind of annoying because you do want to have your berries like for the edge up to castle age.
Mm-hmm. I feel like the thing is, like, this script is so unreliable and variable
Well,
that
this is
you
what
have to
Islands
win
is.
water. Like, it's an island,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a water map. You have to win water. You can't. It's not necessarily. You could say, oh, it's unfair because the islands, like, Danny's got gold which can't be ranged, whereas it looks like pretty much all of James's gold can be ranged just a little bit. But it's a water map.
Mm-hmm.
You have to win the water to win the game.
Yeah, and like the script is poor. Let's not beat around the bush, but it is based on the Standard Islands script from the game, and most of the standard scripts from the games are generally quite poor.
Yeah.
I think like the Jesus camel is a good idea, given a little bit more scouting vision, and you can have a look around the size of your island. You can see the size of like your opponent's island as well. You can scout early for the docks. But there could definitely just be some tuning up in terms of like maybe like the berries here being a little bit closer to the TC and wood lines and gold spawning a little bit more consistent. But it also does make for very exciting games, especially if landings come in and you have like gold on one side, towers coming in, gold access at a premium and really difficult. So we'll see how that does develop in the game. And we got a front dock from James.
We do have a front dock from James, and a fairly late front dock from James, to be honest, Paradox. It was quite a bit later than his opponent. Danny's already got one fish out and the second one on the way, whereas James is just making his first fishing ship now. I don't know. I mean, it's a little bit unusual, I think, to see that so much difference in the opening build order on islands. You know, fairly standard opening for all civs, but James just delaying that first dock a bit to get a few more on wood, I guess.
Well, let's see what comes out after the second fishing ship. You can see the bag dock has already been confirmed by James with the Jesus camel back there.
That's nice. Just being annoyed sitting in front of the fishing ships.
Let's see if they actually try and block the fish on the way back. Like, you're going to be waiting a while for like Dravidian fish because it's like only just reached 15, 18, 19, 20. You have to wait another 10 food. So it takes its time to clock up. Dravidian fish are just insane.
Okay, doesn't go for
no blocking. No blocking.
That would definitely rule out some players, I think.
And the camel is slower anyway. It'd block half decently. Oh, thinking about it.
Yeah, definitely thought about it there for a bit. James actually gets the fuselage upgrade in a little bit ahead, despite having the slower fish. I guess means that he must have gone a few more to food. I didn't quite see how the build order differed, but it was definitely a later dock. And currently still just the one dock for James. Maybe we'll add another, but... Okay, here we go. Adding another now on the front. So, obviously Vikings, they don't get access to fire ships, so we're not going to see those. I guess it'll be 2 or 3 dock galley production from them.
3 docks makes the most sense. Going for the front is kind of interesting. Like, didn't have that info now, but looks like Danny's actually going to discover the 2 front docks. These docks are kind of tilting, to be honest, the way they're like... You know how like the land is kind of like meandering around them?
Yeah,
they're like pocketed in.
Yeah. Typically something you want to avoid, right?
But like just having them... Yeah, I think wanted to have them next to the shorefish. You get the next one out to the right-hand side, perhaps, and this little bit that's kind of sticking out would be nice. But still really far away from Danny's dock. And yeah, I like that dock. You could be really annoying now if you were Danny with the camel, and like try and put it on top where the villager was going.
Oh, true. Yes. That is a little bit. It's a lot of work. And actually, Danny's got other things to worry about. Focusing at home for now, because Danny is going to go up to Castle Age quickly behind this. So that is a bit of a different approach to what James is going for here with the 3 dock Viking galleys. And he's going to go for the very quick Castle Age here. Gets... Oh, can't quite afford a little bit, so goes for Castle Age now. And then, well, what's the plan here? Are you going Castle Age into war galleys? Or are you going Castle Age into fire ships?
No, we'll be going fires.
Fires, okay.
We should be going fires. Fire's trade very, 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 very good against feudal age galleys. Don't need a huge amount of numbers. Now, where's we going to put second dock? Okay, it is coming at the front already. That's nice. So I expect the third dock there. And kind of surprised that James isn't just lagging one galley behind here.
Well, look at the walls from James. I think James is worried about the landing potential. Sends his scout out to the right-hand side of his island now, just to make sure there's nothing untoward going on.
James is paranoid, and there's a fishing ship forward there from Danny for some reason. I'm not too sure why actually. Oh, there's another one forward.
Yeah. No, he probably was using those, I guess, for scouting information. But James is inching closer with his 2 galleys,
really
finding the forward docks, and I think he will do so now. Yep, sees them. That's some really good information. They see them as well.
Nice. It might snipe the Vel.
Oh,
no flexion though.
Oh, does
only 25 HP. Yikes. And there's only 1 galley in the back here, and 1 galley against fish is kind of pathetic. Especially when you don't have fletching. You really need to have 2 galleys to have any chance of being able to take down the fish.
Yeah, and this is a tough spot now for James because, Danny's got to be a bit careful with those vills. Hasn't got loom and just throws another vill into to slaughter. Needs to be a bit more protective of those, but has the fire ship out, or fire galley out now. Now it's a fire ship. And send a 3rd vill to complete the stock. But yeah, James is significantly behind on the way up to Castle Age. Hasn't clicked yet, and sells the stone as well, so no advantage in that regard. Danny sold the stone already. And this could be rough for James, yeah.
Well, we'll get up to Castle Age and not too bad a timing. We're only just coming to minute 16. And having played Feudal Age is still going to get up in decent time. Fish has been moved around to the back. Are we going to place another dock? I mean, we have the wood for it, I would expect so now.
Yeah, this corner is a nice place, or even something even safer than the corner.
Yeah, I think even just at the back here would be fine, but in the corner would be great for like further galley production as well, or longboats. Which longboats, I would be expecting now with only 2 galleys now on the field.
Yeah, definitely. Got to be right. And Danny is doing a great job here with the Jesus Camel of doing a loop around again, because he knows that James knows that these docks are no longer going to be of any use. So his priority now, Danny, is to just find this redock. Scouts the corner first, but nothing to see there. Just carry on going, and we'll find the dock midway around the island at the back, which I guess is the most safe possible place for James to place it. He definitely wants to have some production there.
I'm kind of surprised of the early addition of a second TC.
From Danny. Yeah.
Yeah, not making more navy.
Ooh. Well, now he's trying to make a 3rd TC, but also trying to make fishing ships, so definitely running a bit low on wood. Trying to do a lot of things at once here is Danny. Can't quite keep up with the economy to do that.
Yeah, we're just looking to get a big eco lead by the looks of it. We can see James has a lot of wood in the bank. 2 more dogs going up at the front. Of course, Viking dogs, a little bit cheaper is nice. And there's even going to be a TC from James, since they have a good wood bank. You know, is their scout quite sloppily at the back there for free, to be honest?
Oh, yeah.
Burned alive.
The issue is Paradox. I guess this is what is playing into Danny's decision-making process. The longboats are just so strong, right? I mean, despite Danny being up to Castle Age so much quicker, I guess he's sort of thinking, oh god, how do I counteract these longboats? And he's just going to basically give up the naval control in exchange for a really nice boom on land. It's got the nice island to do that on, right? Like the longboats can't range much, nearly as much as the other way around, for instance. So yeah, it's just sort of said, all right, well, it's a bit like on that cup game. Like, you come and kill me, right? You're the Vikings. You come and kill me. I'm gonna boom until you do that.
Potentially. That's actually a really nice surrounder from Danny. Gets pretty good damage on the longboats. Danny potentially could have went into War Galley themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And got up to production, but prioritizing 3 TCs. And James is going to be on 3 TCs of his own. And there's going to be handcart villagers behind it as well. So Viking Eco is going to be very strong. And I guess late game, Dyer are pretty tanky. Like Dyer Galleon.
Yeah. Pretty solid, right?
I can see it working, but Dyer are very, very expensive.
They are, but Danny's getting a lot of eco. And maybe that is the play. I mean, I feel like a landing is out of the question, to be honest, because of, well, there's no water control to get the transport across. And James has done a good job of getting houses around the full length of the island, just to make sure there's no shenanigans really in that regard. All the fish are going to die now. And James actually is going for the landing. Transport ship from James.
Okay. And it would be a risk to... Like, Danny could, in theory, actually transport stuff when you consider, like, the distance.
Yeah, it's not far.
It's not that far. And it is a gamble, but it's certainly a gamble that is doable from, like, either side. More so from the left-hand side, the dock position, but you really think about it, it's not far for your transport to go along the shoreline and to get a few villagers across.
No, that is very true.
It's very plausible.
Yep. Doesn't look like he wants to make that investment or risk at the moment. Just
full committed to the boom.
But
you can see the imbalance in the eco. Ready to get 800 gold. So we've had a lot of villagers in gold for this castle age, and banking it up. 30 on wood, only 18 on food. There's only 2 more than James. At least Danny does have horse collar, and there's a stable from James.
Yep. And
Viking Knights, question mark?
Well, they do get knights, right? They do get knights. They don't get bloodlines, of course, but they get knights, they get light cav, they get stable units, and I guess that's what James feels is the right play, even as Vikings. But really good from Danny to spot that straight away, because that's when it becomes a problem. When you don't spot it, and that snowball starts with a big ball of snow, and just keeps growing from that. There's only a few crystals of snow at the moment, because it's been shut down straight away. And these stone gates are really nice as well. We've also got monks out, which I think was to pick up the relic, but now can serve a dual purpose, and converting longboats potentially might be a little bit tricky. Gotta watch out. The hail of arrows come down.
That monk is a risk taker, man.
Yeah. But does escape with its life.
And he's brave. 10 longboats there, and he's virtually scared off. My goodness. Definitely need some monks round by the mangonel now. That's in quite big risk of getting sniped for nothing. It looks like the mango's going to run back behind the gate.
Ooh, I get there in time.
Should make it.
Thing is, even if it does make it, that ram is now out of range of the mango shots.
Is it from the right-hand side?
Well, oh no.
No.
Apparently not. Very good. Very good.
I actually thought it was going to be closer than that. Like, right up against the gate, but no, I even had to tell to play with.
Yeah. And just making a second siege workshop. Thing is, though, this is so smart from James, right? Because he obviously knows he's further behind in economy, even as Vikings. Vikings with a free handcart have a very, very strong economy. But what he's doing here is just stalling Danny's with putting a spanner in the works, and that means that Danny, his entire plan was basically based around this early imp push. Like, I boomed up all game just for this moment where I hit Imperial Age and start sort of shredding with all my powerful bonuses. Being completely slowed down and stunted by this landing. So even if the landing doesn't achieve much, it's already achieved that slowing down of Danny's game plan, which is more than enough for James to be happy with, I think.
Potentially, but Danny's still going to be an imp a minute and a half before. We made 2 stables and a siege workshop to make 2 knights and the ram and get 0 value from it.
Yeah. Not a great return on investment.
And you're making the transport as well, so that's a lot of wood invested. You're also investing the food, the gold. And I kind of have to question why you would land and then not really do anything. Like, obviously, the position of the landing is quite unfortunate. Big natural wood line here, very easy to wall out. But you do have the transport, you could potentially put the transport round to the other side, have some longboats to guide you there, and then you could go. But Viking landing with knights and castle age just feels like, especially mid to late castle age, just feels very wrong to me. Like, you want the food and the gold to get up to imp, and like James is behind because he decided to go and do this.
But it has slowed down Danny a bit, right? That's the thing. It's slightly slowed him down. Like, imagine if he hadn't done the landing.
I think the investment's more for James.
Well, yeah, I guess that's true. And fast fire's in now. These longboats have to turn their tail and flee.
Yep.
Racer coming in. Also, we're going to get galleon upgrade, Bodkin Arrow, and diversify the army a little bit. Galleon's on the way. And Danny's looking like in a great spot. Vikings, obviously, beasts on water. An elite longboat is no joke. However, it's the game position, the map position, the momentum is in Danny's favour.
And if you look at the map, like, castles on the edge of Danny's map would be insane because it touches the edge of the map. Especially that left-hand side, there's like a futile gap. A futile gap in the right-hand side, and you could still sneak past in James's if you hug the edge on the right-hand side, though. But going for the castle at home, just wants to make sure nothing comes from his double stable and siege workshop.
Oh, that's a. I think that's a very respectful play, to be honest, Paradox. Like, I feel like if Danny thought he was up against someone worse than him, you're making a transport ship and plopping that down forward and saying, get out of my game, castle sort of territory. But going for it at home, I think, is the sign of a big mark of respect Danny has for James.
I think it's also just the safe play. Like,
yeah, it's a safe play.
Like, just has good water control at this moment. I guess no reason to overextend. Like, still in a very good position. Like, I think a forward castle at this point would be kind of more YOLO. You maybe want to have a little bit more water. Still don't know where this longbow mass is, which is just being kind of running around, right, waiting for upgrades. Elite longboats now. And I wonder if we try and get the unique deck before we go for an engagement.
Yes, probably. Well, I guess you're always going to want that at some point, but it's going to try and take an engagement now, I suppose. The ships, of course, micro a little bit awkwardly, so
too much.
James, yeah, but there's way too much navy from Danny there.
Way too much from Danny. It's still
Dry dock coming in as well. Transport ship he's making, I guess.
And what dock is that going to come from? Okay, from the front.
It's from the front dock here, and the bill's coming forward.
Okay.
You have another castle's worth of stone, Paradox. So we could drop it on the central island, or if we're really feeling funky, we drop it on the left-hand side of James's home.
I think we go for the neutral island and the gold. It's very good for map control as well. It's going to make it really difficult for James to push.
It's a bit awkward now for Danny, though, because it's 51 longboats on the field. Like, I don't know. That is quite a lot. And there is to die out. Bloody hell. Okay, shipwright now added. There is to die
Danny
very,
getting
very
good upgrades
expensive.
though. Yep, like shipwright, masonry, already good dry dock. How many villagers are we sending forward? Only 6.
Only 6.
Transport's
Yeah.
got low HP. Where are we going? Where are we going? Okay, we're going to the gold, right? Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Just inching forward that power creep. I'd like to see the fires get into the action here. It looks like the galleons are doing a lot of work, but the Therissidae now under fire from longboats. And the thing with Vikings, right? You don't want to let them get too big of a longboat mass. Like 68 longboats is very, very scary now for Danny to deal with. But I guess because of the defensive buildings he's made at home and also this castle going up on the central island, he's not going to be too upset with his map position. But yeah, James has the potential now to really cause some havoc in Danny's army. The army numbers, see, are heavily in his favour. Not losing many longboats, and really nice little jiggling back and forth with those longboats on the edge of the fight. I mean his bulk of his army is taking great engagement.
Yeah, I still feel like it's okay for Danny getting this around now. Dyer's on the right hand side, and this could be brutal. I maybe would have liked a few Therissidae going to the right as well, just a tank. And now they're going left. We get double castle in the middle from Danny now as well. Like seriously reinforcing, getting all that extra res.
Good shot.
Ooh.
The numbers still look very good for James, but I think that's because the longboats are reproducing from the other docks. I think this actual bulk of the army is down now to 41. I think it used to be much higher than that. So Danny has taken some good kills here. The Therissidae don't seem to be dying too quickly, although having said that, it doesn't take that many volleys to kill them off. And I think Danny's really struggling here just to take an actual fight with all of his navy at once. Some of it's stuck behind the others, and yeah, the fires aren't quite in the right place. Now Danny's going for his own micro of those ships within the main group. Get some good fire ships forward to do some damage. Trebs set up on the central island to target that
the monastery.
Little bonus, nice one.
It's kind of a nuisance. I'm
kind of make short work of that though.
Yeah, I'm kind of annoyed to the castle position for Danny, especially when you were taking the engagements and you had like the longboats penned in there.
It's these wood lines though. It's so annoying to him because
I think you can. I think there's still a 4-tile gap though. I think with Danny you could chop that tree on the right hand side and the castle fits in there next to the stone.
Yeah.
Those villagers are exposed now, and I think you can still get it forward in front of the wood line on the left hand side.
You probably
for
can.
Danny can just pull back to the castle now. Like.
Yeah.
And loads of upgrades coming in. Guilds, murder holes, hoardings. Where are the cannon galleons? 87 longboats, 5 more in the queue. Jesus Christ. This game might go on for a while yet.
Well, this is the thing, right? Because Danny couldn't quite get that push going when the imp power spike came, and now we're in the midst of Imperial Age. We're sort of right in that sort of post-imp phase, and it's 200 pop, 99 vills, 100 vills, 100 army, right? It's what can Danny really do against so many longbows? He's going to have to trade off his units for James's units, but that's very uncomfortable to do. And it's going to go very badly, these fights. Longboats are just better.
Yeah, Danny does have the gold access, and this would have been the risk of going for a more forward castle. Now, if like the gold island is getting tripped, but it's getting tripped in that position anyway.
Yeah. that's unfortunate for Danny.
And I think
Good
I
work
think
from
if the
James.
castle was forward, sorry, it would actually range the trebs from that angle.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, the cannon galleons. That's a really nice addition from Danny, and the longboats are going to have to go over there to defend that. Danny knows that and sends the cannon galleons back, and meanwhile attacking on the right-hand side. So it's all about the water control now. James kind of penned in, but at the same time his army is stronger, so he's just waiting and waiting.
James didn't even get careening, which is really weird.
Ooh. Yes, definitely wants that.
Like, that's super strange.
Suicide now cutting off the reinforcements, which is actually quite a big deal.
Yeah.
And Danny's now really sort of starting to take a fight here. Look at that longboat just dancing for as long as it could to delay the arrows, deny the arrows as best it could. But the army numbers now, you can see they're dropping for James, evening up in Danny's favour. Army value dead even between the players. 10k gold is a lot of army value. It's hard to really say who's winning this, but both players have insane production behind and can replace their armies. I guess the one thing you would say is that look at James's reinforcements. They're travelling all the way around the island, whereas Danny's are coming straight from the front of his island. So replacement of the army is way quicker for Danny Dyer, and that's going to really help him out. And just a couple of cannon galleons in the midst of this army behind will start to take these castles out quite quickly.
Reinforcement spot. Zoom out and look at Danny's island.
I know. They're just doing a carousel around the entire.
No, zoom out further. Look at Danny's island. What's the problem here?
Wait, what? He chopped all the wood.
He's only got this little bit of wood on the left-hand side, and now that left-hand side of the island for James is absolutely crucial.
Oh god. Oh, Danny, that's really bad. He needs to land those bills and start chopping.
That is very bad. Yes.
James's wood. Well,
and the wood bank is so much more for James, and he's still got the best part of, I would say, about 4,000 wood. Yeah, 5,000 wood, pretty much.
Danny though didn't quite pounce on that advantage he got, right? Because now the army numbers have reset. He got that win and slightly held back a little bit, and now we go again. The army is split in two, which is brilliant for Danny. Because he's surrounding sort of both sides at once. It's way harder for James to do his little micro tricks when the armies are split like this. But he needs to make this fight work with Danny Dyer. This is kind of his one and done because wood is empty. 100 wood in the bank, and there's no more to chop. So he's going to have to make this one work.
Blow them up, Walt.
Yeah. Where are they going? They're going to go to the James Island. Start chopping.
I mean, there is wood in the middle here, and it's pretty much 1,000 wood, so that is 1,000 wood you simply cannot pass up at this moment.
Yeah.
But now we have no wood in the bank, and now the army is just going to get brutalized from Danny.
Can't replace.
Danny's not going to be able to replace it.
That's really sad. The numbers are dropping. They're half now of the opponent's numbers, and there's no more ships in the queue. James managed to hold that one out, and well, we are, I think, going to reach a victory for James. Basically entirely decided by that lack of wood in Danny's bank, which is sad for Danny. Yeah. Felt like he kind of deserved the win, but it's tough to say that, right? On islands, this is the whole point of islands. It is a bit unfair in the map sometimes, and you've got to play around that.
This is a duality of islands. Like, it can produce extremely exciting games. I think most people, and probably the players included in this, would say it wasn't the most exciting. But that's two sides of the sword. Sometimes you're gonna get the good games.
Yeah.
And this one kind of just like the sad ending, you know, kind of petered out.
It's just it's sad. It's sad. And now James coming forward. He's not afraid. Comes forward to make a mining camp on the gold. Gold is what James has run out of, not wood. Strangely enough. So he actually has to take this. But the thing is, gold is a bit easier because James can just sell wood. Like Danny Dyer's buying 500 wood for 193 gold. Actually, that's not too bad, the price. But yeah, the economy is completely stalled. We're down below 100 pop, and James has got 174.
Doesn't look good, Bob.
Oh, the longboat going for a little moon sail.
What the fuck? Is it gonna go in the land? Is it gonna go in the land? Oh, fuck.
Danny stopped it.
What are we thinking, Danny? You've got nothing on wood. My guy. You have like
Can't quite bring himself to tap out. I feel really bad for Danny. But it kind of is over, and you've got to just go and have a glass of water and get ready for the next one, I think, because
I think so, yeah.
Put it behind you, because this one he kind of had it in the palm of his hand, but just when the critical moment came, looked at his island, and I guess that sinking feeling of realizing all your lumberjacks are idle, and it's not because you've not refreshed your lumber camp or anything, it's because there's no more wood left to chop.
Well,
which is pretty sad.
Danny also played extremely passive as well, right? Like, played FC, played Booming Castle Age as well. Didn't make any army in Castle Age really, so like you can't. It's like it is of their own doing as well, but it's not.
It is, yeah. It is a bit, right? Like, had to recognize, I suppose. You have to recognize that is the late game condition, right? So you're always playing with that as a loss condition. If you can't win at a certain time, you're going to lose. So you've got to play around that. But you know, I understand that it's game one of the quarterfinals. So you don't want to make any risks and lose the game. So you play a bit more passively and safely, in quotes, and that is your own undoing. So it's a very difficult way to play, and yeah, for game one as well. Oh gosh, it's a nervous game one, Islands, I think, because the series is beginning.
I'm gonna make a suggestion here,
and
I probably won't do it for any other game. I think we should fast forward.
Oh my god! Oh my god! That would be sacrilegious, Paradox. Need to watch every minute.
We should fast forward, Walt.
I feel like Danny's about to pass out.
Well, I'm gonna fast forward and find out.
Okay. Okay. You find out. I'm gonna carry on watching. Danny's res bank is combined just above 100 res.
Okay, you don't have to wait too long. Jeez.
Pop count is 83, 70 out of those. GG is gold.
I more want to go back and see the wood count.
Let's have a look.
Well, do you want to do Danny's island? I'll do James's.
Okay. Oh, Danny's island. Yeah. How do I select?
So just like zoom in and then like just control it. But there is different trees there, so it's a little bit dodgy now that I'm doing it. If we can get like a rough estimate of what it will be like, it will be better.
All right, I've got it.
But when I'm like now clicking them and then like some of them are unselecting, which is kind of annoying. If I'm gonna hazard a guess, there's probably some trees that aren't selected here.
Mm-hmm.
I would say about 26. It's probably about 27,000. Or no, it's more than that. Now
What?
there's quite a lot of trees that aren't
I'm at
selected.
33 and a half
It's
on
probably
Danny's.
kind of somewhere then. Actually, I'm up to 29, but there's still more trees aren't selected. Okay, 32. Yeah, maybe like 1,000 or something more for James. 1,000 to 2,000 more. Because of the different tree types, it's actually difficult for me
It's
to.
49k, bruv.
Have you got the tree mod?
Yeah.
Well, that no, like the one where it changes them all into the same tree.
Yeah, but I'm looking in Capture Age.
Yeah, and what I'm saying is it's hard to double click the trees when they're all different trees.
No,
But if you have the tree mod,
check my
it's
stream.
easier.
Check my stream. Look at my stream, bruv.
It's
I'm
because you have,
shift
it's be,
selecting.
listen to what I'm saying. Well, it's easier because you have the tree mod.
Oh, okay,
I do not have the tree mod,
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
so I'm like
but
clicking on all trees and Italian pines, and when I'm clicking on some of them are like deselecting.
well, I think that James has roughly 10k more wood on the island, um, which is somewhat horrendous. To be fair, Danny. um, make sure I got that right.
I mean, it's also
Yeah,
islands.
yeah.
You reap what you sow. It's a game one
It,
map. Both
it is
players
just
like
slightly
mutually
unfair.
agreed.
It is just a slightly unfair
Both
map.
players mutually agreed that this is going to be the map they want to play for game one. So everyone knows what it's going to be like. I don't really think you can complain, realistically.
Well, perhaps not, but
There's been
I
worse
feel for
cons
Danny.
than that.
I feel for James. Sorry, oh, sorry for Danny. I feel for Danny.
I know, but you're a
Because
softie.
I'm a softie. I'm Walter the softie, but I do feel bad for him.
You don't need to.
Right. So Dravidians lost to Vikings.
Oh my god! Look at Danny's APM.
Oh boy, I missed it. Here we go. Show the stream. Check wood collected.
104.
104?
104.
No. Oh, sorry. Yes, just skip to the end. I wonder in 104. I've got 45 here.
It says 104 on my side. And then I'm looking at the chart and I'm like, that definitely isn't right. But it
Okay.
actually says 104. I wonder if
Hmm.
wonder if I like fast forward to the end there that fucks it up. I don't see why it would.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm getting 45 APM
What do you
for
have for what do you have for James?
75.
See, mine says 82, but that's really weird. So I think maybe
Maybe
the
it's
fast
like,
forward section in the last like 2 minutes must have.
oh, you know what? At minute 1, I've got 104 for Danny. So I reckon um that's showing you data from like the first minute where you rewinded to or whatever.
Let's see. You might be right with that.
Wood collected. Sorry, I saw that. Yeah, wood collected. Yeah, wood collected 52k versus 36k. Yeah. So that
Go
is
into
pretty tough.
stats.
That's pretty tough.
Yeah, 44-74. Okay, yeah.
What was the
Okay, that's
KD? KD was in Danger's
KD.
favor.
315 to 313. So it wasn't like Danny didn't kill a lot of units as well.
Yeah. No, absolutely, Atten. Yeah, yeah. It is shit. But the thing is, the script is just a bit shit. Like, I don't know. It's hard to say because at the same time, like the script is a bit shit, but it's I somewhat predictably shit.
It's not unexpected. Both players mutually agreed to places a game one map. There's really no hard feelings there. It barely even impacted the game.
But yeah, I do. I sympathize with Danny, and I hope that he can pick himself up for the rest of the series because I think he'll be upset with how that one played out. The good news for Danny is that the map draft is extremely polarizing. Right, we got Regicide Fortress and Migration, and James has got Land Madness and Neon. So there's a bit of a clash of styles here, which should hopefully go in Danny's favor on the home maps.
Well, let's get on to the next one, will we? 50 minutes in already, and we've only covered islands. My goodness.
Okay, let's go for it. So game 2 will be on Regicide Fortress.
And no surprise in Danny's Civ, to be honest. With Bengalis. No. And then you kind of look at James's, and then you kind of think, is it really going to play Mayans into Bengalis? And what else could you really play there? And it's really going to be Persians.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I guess. I mean, obviously Persians with a new Savar. Maybe that's what we're gonna go for. I'll count us down from 10 in 10.
Yep.
10 seconds.
Yep.
3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, James Corden 1-0 up against Danny Dyer here. Persians is the choice for RF. And Persians, yes, they got changed in the recent patch. They get, instead of the Paladin, they get the Savar, which are pretty cracked units. What is it actually about them which makes them stronger? They got more pierce armor, right?
More pierce armor, cheaper than Paladin.
And a bit cheaper, yes, cheaper. And they also have the war elephants. Could be an idea. Well, Bengali monks are so good.
Come on, Bengali, like you're not even going to play war elephants against Mongol monks.
No.
well in Bengalis.
You gotta shout out the units though, man. I love war at least.
Bruv, you can shout them out all you want. It's not gonna happen. Persians is a super weird choice.
Yeah, why are you picking who is picking Persians and why are you picking Persians? Like, what is it about? I mean, they've got a very nice boom, I suppose. But a boom into what, really? I guess Savar.
My question is, how well does Savar trade versus Ellie Arch?
To be fair, this might be something which James Corden's been cooking.
And I don't know the answer to that.
Maybe the pierce armor makes them trade really well, and it's a pre-cooked plan. It's last pick, right? So, you know.
You could be cooking something up.
Scout's gonna just kiss the king on its way past. Interesting that the Scout's running around from James Corden with half HP, to be honest, Paradox. Feels a little bit rogue. Where is the Scout from Danny is running around. It's also got 39 out of 45 HP, so could take that fight, but James Gordon's not afraid. And Danny's already clicked up to feudal age, feud behind Deville. Okay.
Get 2 villagers going over to Stone Knight. So looking to add TCs. James hasn't clicked up just quite yet. Adding a farm, clicks up now. And it would just be expected that Bengalis boom here. You obviously have the barracks to start. Let's see if anyone's gonna add. Let's see if anyone's gonna add a stable. and try and play for some map control and how much they're going to invest into the relics. Like, Danny hasn't really scouted relics at all. Now that I'm just noticing it. Well, sorry, the king's at home.
Oh,
Scouts in the castle. Like, it tells me he just wants the straight boom.
Yeah, definitely. I guess makes sense, right? You're the Bengalis. You don't really care about the relics. There's loads of neutral gold on this map. Like there's plenty to be getting on with. So you can kind of give up the relics because you're confident in the early archers. And that is a real snowball which is hard to stop rolling. So anything you're doing to delay that, I guess, Danny feels is a waste of res.
Maybe. Looks like they are expensive though.
They are expensive, and actually, James, to be fair to him, James is going blacksmith market too, so doesn't seem too fussed either about going for the scout opening at least. Could go for monks just naked, but
potentially, yeah.
Not going to go for the scouts into monk, light cav monk.
And maybe going, honestly, maybe just going monks with nothing else is a good call if you're James. Just maybe expecting like a straight boom. What's the risk that you make Rafa? You're probably going to convert the Rafa. So maybe James largely just puts up a monastery and tries to be cheeky about it.
I honestly wouldn't hate it, right? Your TCs work quicker anyway. So the Bengali eco bonus is a little bit negated by the faster working TC from Persian's side. So you could probably just try and squeeze in a monastery before your third TC and just, see what you can get done. If you don't pick up any relics, you don't pick up any relics. But if you get 2 or 3, it's quite a nice little bonus for not that much of an investment, and you're still beaming up behind it really nicely. Way better than you would be if you went for light cav monk, for instance, right? So
yeah, the long-term investment is nearly always worth it. Especially playing up against Bengalis, if you get 3 relics nice and early, you're kind of making up a little bit for the villager difference. Especially if they don't contest it. But we're into Castle Age. Let's see what we have opened here. James doesn't have enough stone for the next TC.
No, he doesn't, and still isn't going for the monastery.
And now sends the villagers out. See if it's deliberate.
I don't think it is. I think he's just waiting for that extra 2 vills to gather their stone. So a little bit of a sloppy play here. Is James the player who went the really nice Cuman plan? Was that someone else?
Yes, it wasn't. It was, no?
I thought it was. And Paradox, humans were not picked or banned.
No, they were, because James was second pick. Humans were banned. 100%.
This track?
I think James... Yeah. I think James was scared, since James was the second pick.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Didn't want to leave humans open.
I couldn't see them. Yep. Yeah.
And have that as an option. Especially after the way that James used them in the previous series. They want to be giving people ideas of like how ridiculously good they can be.
Yeah, that was a bit of a warning message to the rest of the competition, it looked like. So, okay, so bans the Civ that he won with last time, and he's kind of put himself in an awkward spot. People in chat are saying a lot of stuff about how Persians are not going to be doing well late game here. Tend to agree. The thing is, though, I guess the one thing the Persians do have is that ability to hit imp a little bit quicker and get their stuff going a bit faster, because the elephant archers do take a very long time to get that snowball going.
Yep. The galleys are going to have decent timings though as well, into imp. You do get the extra villagers from the age ups. James, despite all that, is only 1 behind, and that's even with idle time. So the Persians are certainly cooking.
Yep.
TCs are rolling. Doesn't even have anything in gold, just really focused on getting wood, slamming down some farms. And not a single relic is even being considered.
I know, I feel like... Well, here we go. Here we go. Danny's going to add monastery now. Like, you might as well chance your arm. For 100 gold... Well, okay, 175 wood, 100 gold to make that first monk. It is worth having a go. Especially as Bengalis, because your monk is a bit more tanky, right? So the Persian player needs to get forging to kill it, guaranteed. Is that true? Or am I making that up?
Well, we said this last time. It depends on when the monk is tasked, right?
Sorry, yes. If it tasks instantly, you need forging. Is that correct? I think that's right.
It should get the scout.
It should get, yeah. Also, it means that, well, Danny can just basically just click left, right click on the scout, have it chasing around, and he's got full vision of it. There's basically no evidence that James has made a stable or any other scouts, so nothing really to worry about. But actually, Danny is sitting on the relic, and this is a bit of a difference. Ooh, goes to the conversion, and James runs away. So James, I guess, feels that he doesn't want to take that risk. Danny's got to be very careful because the scout obviously knows there's a monk out looking for that relic. And here he goes. So Danny actually slightly late to the conversion. This is going to go down, I think. Yeah, loses the monk.
And that's the thing. Like, you can have the extra armor, but if you're not on point with the conversion, your monk is still likely going to go down. And I don't think there's no sanctity as well. So without sanctity, you probably get the scout there.
Yeah,
feels bad,
I
man.
think so. Yeah, it does feel bad. The Wrathers are also sent out to the right hand side. Interesting. Just protecting
4 TC.
the relics there. 4 TC, yeah, from both, right? 4 TC from both. So we're properly booming this game. And
Villager count is even.
yeah, but it's only going to get ahead for James from this point on. Well, I suppose maybe when we hit him, we might get some more builds, but...
Yeah, like, it is nice for Danny. Like, you're going to get at least 8 more builds that could add an RTC, which isn't too unusual to see on Age Up.
I like the fact that Danny's gone for these relics, though. I think the investment is going to pay off. The res collect is actually ahead for Danny, but because he spent the res on the Wrathers and the monks and the monastery, you can see that the actual resources in the bank is just a little bit behind. And both players have tons of ills in the queue, so James is definitely closer to Imp at the moment. Danny's still making monks. He's actually maybe making a few more monks than he really needs just to pick the relics up with, and stops making the monks now. James is definitely thinking about Imp. There we go. Imp's on the way. 2 minutes 43 seconds for the Persians with their faster TCs. And Danny is going to try and get to Imp himself, but he'll be later to Imp by a little margin. Paradox. A little bit of a margin he'll be later to Imp.
Only like 8 bells on gold at the moment. Could just sell the wood and is starting to do that. Sell some more, sell some more. Yep, selling stone even, so we will click up with help with the market, not too bad. You see stables are up from James already. Bloodline's on the way. Scale bar than armor. We said yesterday we haven't seen Savar yet. Today is the day.
Today is the day.
We will see it. And it's probably going to be the first 1v1 game in a tournament I've seen them. Have they been played anywhere else? Have they been played in any major tourneys yet? I'm not sure, but I don't think so.
I've actually never seen Savas, even in ranked games. So I don't know anything about how they perform.
They are nice. They're a nice unit to look at as well.
And he's going for this house wall out to the south of his base, which is a nice touch, but probably wants that to be stone walls, to be honest, because I feel like Savar or Paladin equivalent of anything that strong is going to break through the houses quite quickly. Bodkin Arrow coming in, which will help the Rappers, but I think the primary purpose of that is for the Elephant Archers, getting the University down now as well. Still no Rangers though, right? Still no Rangers. So we need to get some Rangers down if we're going to get that Elephant Archer mass pumping. Maybe it's not the plan, to be honest. The castle coming down the centre of the map is in now for James, and Husbandry is the first order of the day, and now Cavalier coming through.
Is it really going to be Rafa here?
Oof. Well, I mean...
Okay, Barracks now. Barracks are coming
so
now.
How...
It's going to be Halbs, yeah.
Hal Trev? Hal Rafa?
I mean, might be Hal Rafa. 2 castles. Trev's behind it. Cavalier's on the way already. Danny did end up deleting that castle from that hill and decided to place it more defensive at home, defending the gold, and now James is going to try and take claim.
Yep.
There's a few monks mixed in there, Walt. There's 4 of them.
Yeah, it's nice. They're really nice because if those knights get converted, they can turn on the vills. They can take that Treb out maybe. Danny doesn't really fancy the smoke. Turn back around, and that means Cavalier completes. It's chain barding armor as well. Both players are going to get to their late game comps, I guess. But actually, having said that, I mean, feels like the Elephant Archers missing the Elephant Archers is quite a big deal for Danny, to be honest, because they are so powerful. But completely forgoing those in favor of Halbs. Obviously, Halbs will be great at stopping the Savars from raiding the whole eco, but they're not going to be very good at pushing back into the castles.
There's Savar in now. James isn't complementing his army with anything else at the moment, so it shouldn't be a huge surprise that Hal will be teched.
Yeah.
Chemistry's coming as well, so it does tell me that James wants to mix in some hand cannons now.
Yeah, hand cannons obviously would be a nice addition if his opponent's only going for Halberdiers, which he is. Feel like we need way more military production. We've got 143 vills. Like, we're collecting a ton of res every minute. 3 barracks producing. 4 barracks. And now, okay, 5 or 6 barracks, and now we've also got some rangers coming up. So yeah, definitely adding some more production, but probably wanted that a little bit earlier, but still, better late than never. Savar is going to take a little while to complete, so Danny has some time. But yeah, chemistry coming in for James. This push is going to be quite scary, even with the Bengalis, Elephant Archers, and Halbs behind it.
Savar still takes some time. Gonna have all the upgrades, hand cannons on the way now, 7 ranges out. They're very food and gold intensive army, to say the least.
Oh yeah.
It's a good job it has Persian eco behind it.
Well, I feel like Danny needs more farms too. Like,
yeah, 39 farms isn't
food
enough.
Yeah.
That is not all enough. And Mayahan is already going to be coming in with 200 pop.
Ooh, nice.
For Danny.
Perfect upgrade there. Savar is only 10 seconds away, folks. And these Cavalier will become the monstrous new unit of Savar. Look at that. They look very cool. 14 plus 1 attack, 3 plus 3 melee, 4 plus 4 pierce. Holy crap.
Yep,
okay.
So 8 pierce armor is a lot. I mean, just need the attack upgrades now. I think they get bonus as well, no?
The Elephant Archers get bonus versus Savar? Really?
No, I think Savar get bonus.
Oh, versus Elephant Archers. Oh, wow.
No, they get bonus against archers.
Oh, wow. Oh my god. Okay, well that's going to be really, really good against the Elephant Archers. The Halbs, though, coming to the front, and the Sapphire have to run away. Look at that. James has got very good micro on his army there. Putting the units in the right spots at the right times. Hand cannons shooting over the heads of those horses to take out the Halbs, and the monks now pulled into play. Elephant Archers have to switch targets to the light cap, perhaps. Actually, no, the monks are going to be targeted down by the light cap. Architecture coming in for Danny. The Elephant Archers still doing quite a nice job against the Savars, but Savars also doing a nice job against the Elephant Archers. Yeah, both armies very, very strong. We haven't got the Elephant Archer in just yet on the side of Danny Dyer.
Castle goes
down. That actually pop caps Danny. And James is expanding to the castle on the right-hand side as well. So all the focus is on the north side of the map here. Elite Elephant Archer is clicked, but can Danny hold here against the push from James? It looks like he has just about dissuaded the push and got enough army together behind this to really start to push back, actually. That was really nice. That was very, very close. But Danny held well and is going to push back now with lots of production behind this. This is perfect.
What do you think of this castle in the north from James?
I mean, it's not protecting much, right? It's a Viper castle, right?
This is a high level Age of Empires 2 castle.
The Hallis castle.
It could be not a lot of player like this is such a mindset thing to go for these castles in the hills.
Yeah.
And like it doesn't even control that much of the map either.
Yep.
Maybe gives you a little bit of a push point into the right hand side here, but let's see if we can use it to our advantage. I'll be looking forward to seeing that.
Okay, well, the Elephant Archers are doing a very good job, and the Halbs as well. I think this is a very bad fight for James, but he's actually going to take it. Maybe not so advisable. And look at that little cheeky, quick palisade gate from Danny, just to slow James down slightly. Oh, sorry, it's a fortified gate. Sorry, I thought it was palisade. No, perfect. That makes a lot more sense. Just to keep the Chebs safe. And all the hand cannons are going to die. The Elephant Archers are super, super tanky. And now he's pushing back on this castle. Like, I think James is actually in a lot of trouble here because the army from Danny is so hard to kill. And look at the gold in the bank. Like, James is really running low on gold because of this TC out on the north from Danny, which is on that gold line. James has to really try and invest something in there to defend against it. But yeah, now going for Elite Skirm without Bracer. This is never what you want to be as Persians.
Oh, jeez.
It's better than Turks. It's better than Turks, but it's not much better.
Yeah. Turks have fully upgraded skirmishers, though.
I mean, yeah, but they're not Elite Skirm, right?
I didn't say Elite skirmishers. Well, come on.
True. Does it count as fully upgraded if they don't get the Elite upgrade?
I said skirmishers.
You did, but okay. I guess yeah. I guess that's true.
James is in some issues now. Going for the double gold. Doesn't have any hand cannons left. There's still a lot of halbs there. 33 of them. Castle being pushed. Doesn't feel great for James at this moment, but is starting to do some things on the right hand side. Has loads of stables there. Has some rams in the queue. Maybe needs to get seed ram, which Persians do get. But how do you deal with the early archers in the house?
Well, this is the thing, and earlier in the game we were talking about the relics. Imagine if you had 2,500 relic gold for James Corden. Right? That would be a very nice thing to have in your back pocket. Actually, it's Danny Dyer with the stronger late game unit composition and 5 relics. So it is a real double whammy here. There's not much of a win condition left for James, it kind of feels like. Other than, of course, the King Snipe, which is always something to think about on this map. But the thing is, how are you going to get through all these layers of stone walls? get to the king.
Very unlikely.
You're not.
It's probably,
right, so.
There's probably more chance of Danny sniping James's king than vice versa.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. Danny's done a great job of protecting his king, keeping it safe from any potential raids. We're actually going to get capped ram for James Corden. Okay, that be used as a buffer for the elephant shots, or is that going to break in somewhere else on the map?
Just trying to break in the north side where they're taking the gold.
Okay, yeah. And just going to raid if we can get through, but good stone walls behind this from Danny. And yeah, I think Paradox is really not much that James can do against this death ball here. Commander Anne's going to come in. That's something, I suppose, but very uninspiring against elephant archers, I think.
I suppose Scorpion, yeah.
Yeah. Pushed off this gold.
What Commander Man really tells me is like, I'm kind of running out of ideas, but I'm gonna throw shit at the wall and let's see what sticks, baby.
Let's see. Yeah, exactly. And Danny knows that there's nothing really for him left to worry about. He's got stone gates everywhere, which means he can run through, but they're one way. James cannot. I'm just going to move the trebs up, nice and calm, making a castle here, and actually that is the sign of something a bit more ambitious here from Danny. He's just going to go for the jugular. This castle will lock down position at the front of James's base. Skirms are kind of useless against the elephant archers. The Savar, obviously not useless at all. There's 40 of these units, and they're very, very strong. The question is, can they do much against the Halbs and elephant archer combination? Let's see. This is probably James's last fight in the game. Army numbers dead even. Last archer armor is coming in, so the Skirms might do something, but the castle does complete. Ricochete's still working away on James Corden's castle. The king is in. The king pops out and actually starts running. There's a couple of light cav which could have gone for it, but didn't actually go for. The Savar trying to get us around on the elephant archers with good micro from Danny Dyer, and he pulls those back very nicely indeed. The Skirms are charging forward as well, trying to get some good hits in. There's a little bit of a mix of light cav in from Danny Dyer, which just distracts the Skirm shots for some time, and the king has hastily beat a retreat to TC at the back. That was very close for James, and nearly losing the game outright just then and there. The siege rams for James are working away. Don't tell me we're going to see a king snipe. Do not tell me James is going to king snipe Danny's king here. Because that would be horrendous for Danny.
Yeah.
It's not impossible with these siege rams.
And you could in theory still research spies, but no gold in the bank for James.
True. Well, here we
go.
are
coming in. Okay,
this is a king snipe play. Well. This is 100% a king snipe play. There's no reason he's doing this other than to try and get the king snipe, because he knows he's lost, I think.
Yeah.
Here we go. The siege rams break through, and these light cav are going to try and find a tower or some fortification that the king is hiding in. The king has moved. The king has moved right to the corner of the map with a building a tower in the corner of the map. Danny knows. Danny knows what's up as well. Oh my god. And this stone wall is solid. I think the scouts can't get through, and the scouts, they're going to the tower the king was once in. There's nothing there. I'm looking for something else. Meanwhile, in James's base, of course, the destruction continues. James is really on a clock now. He has to find the king and kill it in the next few moments here. I don't think he can do it. The fortified walls aren't going to pose a real threat, and the halbs now being produced back in the base. Clutch escape, Paradox. A very, very clutch escape.
Now we had a game. We had game one with Danny kind of on the slow and every design. Now we get James Corden doing their best ECCM impression. If I'm Danny, I actually flare the tower in the corner and say, "It's over here, buddy. You're miles away." Maybe James gets there with the like. Honestly, delete the house and let him see it. Okay, we get. Not needed. Not needed.
Just give him a little taste. Oh wow. Well, 1-1 is the score. And that is pretty exciting. So we're going to go into a best of 3 for the last 3 games of this series. Bengalis beating Persians on RF, I guess, isn't the biggest surprise in the world, to be fair. And that was the last pick for James Corden. So probably isn't going to be too upset with the way that one went.
Nah.
And will be able to pick himself up for the next series, but next game. But yeah, I don't know, a little bit interesting. That James, is he really like a one-trick pony with the humans? Like, is there really nothing else that you could have played there?
Well,
Mayans is for Neom, I suppose.
Look at the Civ bands. You had Burgundians gone, Bohemians gone, and Chinese gone. So potentially 4 of the like kind of better Civs on the map.
Sure.
You'd probably put Bengalis there as well, and then you're kind of like humming and hawing of like, what do I actually do here?
Yeah, so he just went for the sort of Hail Mary, like, okay, you can have this one.
It's kind of like they got towards the end of the draft and was like, fuck, I've actually not got like an RF Civ and I can't really draft one. Or maybe just like straight off the bat, after like seeing all the bans and then seeing Bengalis getting picked, they're like, well, there's no point drafting a Civ like now. I might as well just wait to the very end for RF and pick up
Yeah,
other
exactly.
Civs for other maps. And just like treat it more as like a throwaway, try something. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's only a best of 5. I can still pull that back.
Yeah. There's no need to like, you've got to win 3 games out of 5. So, that means you can lose 2. You don't have to win them all. If you're confident in your strategies. So yeah, makes a lot of sense. But it does mean that the series is tied up. So Danny gets some revenge for the game 1, and we go into Land Madness as our game 3, which is one of James Corden's home maps. Both home maps he's got are open land maps. I'm going to start with Land Madness, which is the most open land map of them all, kind of. Very different style to Regicide Fortress.
Yep. And I'm paused at 10 wall, and we have the Battle of the Sheep Civs.
Oh boy.
This is very surprising.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1, go. I absolutely agree, Paradox. This is not the 2 civs I thought we would be seeing. I mean, I don't really know much about Romans.
No.
But Britain's Tatars. That feels very, very unusual. We said James Corden has some like that. Those castles were the sort of games. The castles a high level player like Alice might place. Is Britain's a Civ on Land Madness, which someone like Alice would play.
What is Alice known? What is his kind of like known playstyle? What is he known for?
I don't know. I don't know much about the way Alice plays.
Like Alice is like like an expo player.
Oh really? Okay.
Like that is where he's at his best.
Well, this might be a comfort pick then for him. With the Britons on Land Madness. I might also send a shiver up Danny's spine if he sees that, thinking, oh god, okay, let's see what happens here then. Tatars, of course, they get the sheep bonus, and they've got a nice scout into Cav Archer play from Tatars. It's it's a well-trodden path, that build order, so could be something more traditional from them here. And there's a few little pockets, dimples of hills in the map to play around as well. Not the hilliest map by any means, though.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not really sure who Danny is now because no Huns banned, no Huns picked.
Ooh.
For some reason, we've got Tatars.
Oh yes, that is weird. I actually had Danny Dyer as the rodent.
Oh, so did I. Now I'm starting to think it's not a pub player after all.
Me too. But I had Dennis the Menace as Dan MT.
I think that
is
makes.
the other.
I think that also makes sense. But for Danny, I'm really like, who is this? Why would they pick Tatars? Are we really doing it for the 50 extra food per little? These are geese, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, geese.
It could be. It could be. No Huns is weird. I mean, Fanji loves Huns. Starboy loves
That
Huns, right?
it's very weird. That like honestly, since Hans wasn't picked, I'm ready to like just scrub like Vanji off the list.
Yeah.
In all honesty,
Fanji does like stone walls. I mean, Fanji's a definite contender to be Danny Dyer based on the kind of play style. This is right paradox. This is actually a theme of the tournament. Play style is saying one thing to a lot of players, and the drafts are saying another, which is a very
I don't really
weird.
get.
Like, surely they should line up.
I don't really get Vanji playstyle vibes from Danny, to be honest.
Okay, fair enough.
Too reserved.
Too reserved. Is
Yeah.
Fanji not reserved?
This is the guy that went organ guns on Arabia last year. Absolutely dinked on Pete. Like Pete with some 1200 of Korean towers on arena. Made Pete. I actually pulled Pete's trousers down, made him bend over, and spanked him like a little boy.
Oh, oh my god. Flushed.
Flushed emotion.
Do the eliminated players get revealed? No. So the plan is everybody is hidden until the very last moment. The finals are played. Everyone makes their guesses as to who is who, and then we will reveal everybody one by one, starting with around the 16 eliminated players, and then moving on throughout the tournament, progressively getting to the players who were knocked out later and later, until we reveal our grand final champion. Reveal who Atten is. The thing is, Atten's actually one of the hardest to guess at the moment for me. You think you got Atten nailed on? I don't actually think I do. I also don't have breakfast. There's a few people I just don't quite know a lot about, and those two people specifically are Pelham and Cats. I don't really know what I'm looking for there, despite having seen them in the collies.
Cats last year was kind of easier to spot because we had Socotra in the map pool, which is like a favorite one of his.
Okay.
So it was easier to see, okay, this is probably going to be Cats, and I think most people did get it right because of that. So I would really need to go back through and have a look and think, like, how am I going to get Cats? And I'm not 100% sure.
Well, let's see, actually, in this game. Was suspected we got Hallis here as James Corden. We got the archery range on the way, so that shouldn't change any minds. And it's actually going to be one stable, one range opening for Danny Dyer. Now, does that pull the scales back towards pub? Because this is something which Dave Hunn did, or theoretically.
What do you mean? Well, what do you mean, Dave?
Sorry, Noel Gallagher. If it is Dave.
That's not. Oh, no, it wasn't Dave anyway. Wait, breakfast confirmed. Literally last. That is what we expected Dave to do. Then we seen the game last night. He done it again, and then we seen the Castle Age, and we're like, "Is this really Dave?" And I was like, toying with the fact it might be breakfast, and then I watched more and more of the game, and it's like breakfast confirmed.
You were cooking me, man. You basting the juices and cooking me. Cooking me in that one quite deep. I'm not. I'm actually. You
were sweating. You were feeling extremely nervous. You could like. You were on top of the fryer there, and you were sweating into the food.
Well. Okay, it's something Noel Gallagher did. Was once they won. range, and it kind of makes sense even more though against Britons, right? Because you can go for some skirms, which kill archers and spearmen, and the scouts, which kill the units, the villages. So it makes a lot of sense.
The difference for Null, the stable into the range was that was a pre-planned move. Like that was their game plan. For James, they're Brits. Open in range, wow, like that's so surprising. So like for Danny, like that quick transition into the range is probably just an adaptation that they had to make.
Yeah, exactly. It's
and like a very unsurprising one, you know? Yeah, it's not a shock at all, is it?
No. Also, look at this wall. Is this an interesting wall to you? I feel like not every player does this wall.
I don't mind it, honestly.
Yeah, it's great. It's really good. It's efficient on resources and does the job. You're against archers, right? So who cares? They cannot run underneath that and cause some havoc. They're going to die to TC. So it's very easy to wall them out. The one downside though is with this very, very compact wall that Danny's going for, his gold is a little bit exposed and it's on that hill. So it has to... but can you try and go for the cleanup here? Danny is actually going to surround the army, which obviously is less mobile, being the ranged unit has less mobility. So Danny's going to try and get us around here, and could also fight on this hill as Tatars. There's a couple of spearmen there, which are going to try and make things awkward, but trying to fight downhill against the archers. Here we go. Skirmishers need to focus down the spearmen, actually going for the archers. The spearmen get some good hits in. The archers are all going to die.
Look how quick the archers just die.
Especially around that was huge.
Like, this is probably the moment where James is like, okay, got to get back to the hill. And I'll use that to my advantage. And I'm definitely not playing Tatars because we're playing Land Madness here. And then we went back to the hill and fuck. I'm actually playing against Tatars.
This is the thing. Yeah, very unorthodox from both. But Danny Dyer really made that one work. His advantage there. And the spearmen getting picked off by those skirms. Army numbers now in the favour of Danny Dyer, but actually a little bit of idle time. 1 minute compared to the 3 seconds for James. So is falling behind a tad in the eco, but not much in it at all between the two players. And I think the map control that Danny's won is worth some eco compensation at least.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering where would Danny even take gold? Like, I think at the very worst you could still tower it when you're playing up against archers. You're making skirms to yourself. It wouldn't have been terrible. Just going for outposts in the meantime. Second range is going to be next to the gold, so I think should be fine there. And Danny's going to start adding in some archers of their own now. But kind of going undetected. Is that stable addition from James? And there's a lot of scouts in the field now.
Wow, yeah, that really turned the tide because as a heads-up play from James, recognised that the majority of the army left alive was just the skirmishers, which obviously are terrible against scouts. So, yeah, once James says if you can go stable and range, I can do that just as well, and indeed picks himself up a nice little win there. So now he has the map control and the army difference. So another swing back in James's favour. And is it a moment where you got to try and tower that gold? It's obviously really not what you want to be doing, but maybe Danny is forced into it. Doesn't go for it just yet, so he's going to try and really hold off on that.
You're also on the hill, right? So if you have your army on the top of the hill, it's just super nice for Tatars.
Yeah.
So I think they're really just risking it. I like not feeling pressured into it. So I really respect the kind of patience from Danny there and being confident and like having the army there, like not feeling the need to make a tower. And I think if it was me, I probably would have made the tower already, just for like the feeling of safety, you know.
Yeah. But this is why. I mean, but that is exactly the sort of thing which a player like James is going to punish. So I absolutely respect. I think Danny obviously knows the task ahead of him, and he knows he's going to have to play his best Age of Empires. He cannot afford to go for comfort he's going to have to play at the limit of his ability to prevail here against James. And James now on the way to Castle Age did a great job to get up so quickly behind this. It's just going to cause nuisance here for the remaining minute and 20 seconds before he gets up. Just going to run around with these scouts.
What was that palisade all about?
Gate. Yeah, I don't know.
Gated and deleted. I was like, oh fuck, that's definitely no use. I'm just going to delete it. James is up. James actually reseeded the farm before Horsecar got in by 1 second. What an absolute noob.
Oof.
Unbelievable.
It's gotta hurt.
We gotta look at the Britain's pick now for like early Castle Age as well. Like cheaper TCs, that's gonna be really nice. Like it is a map you're forced to expand.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to get them up. Also has a good food economy behind this, so should be able to pump out those TCs no problem. Just passing on the scouts there. Straight onto Bodkin, straight onto Crossbow. We're gonna spend the wood in the lumber camp in the meantime.
Yeah, just about gets that one up. The scouts were posing a bit of a threat there, but actually nothing too bad in the end. And Crossbow and Bodkin comes in. Of course, these Britain archers have suddenly a lot more range than they used to. Yeah, they can make mincemeat out of those scouts. From Danny. Castle Age still a minute away. And what's the plan for Danny? Not going to go for Cav Archers, I think probably quite wisely. So second stable added. I think it'll be Knights for Danny. But they're slowly army forward.
Or CA.
Oh, a third range. The 2 stable, 3 range? What? It's going to be CA.
Mixed in with a couple of step lancers here and there.
Oh, step lancers. Yes, that's a good idea.
I think you're still better with Knights to just maybe tank, or maybe keep the gold and maybe just mix in some light cap as well, just to tank a little bit. And James can. Ooh. Maybe just to buy some time in the meantime. I think that makes a lot of sense. And James can't add any TCs because they did sell the stone to get up.
Yeah, that is true. But he is mining stone. And you only need 100 stone for TC. The wood, obviously, is very cheap for Britons. And the thing with Elite Skirm is it's a very slow play. It's not going to win Danny back any economic advantage. So it will just be a very good tool to defend.
These walls are so interesting.
They are quite unique, right? I don't think many people would play like that. They do the job. They do the job.
They did do the job, you're right. I'm getting Liam Gallagher vibes are coming back.
Oh god, I don't.
Not quite though. Not quite. Let's not dwell on that wall. Enough has been said about those walls.
Yeah. Oh my god. He deletes the title of Walt. Liam Gallagher confirmed. There we go.
Well, if he loses the army, yeah, it would be Liam Gallagher confirmed. And the crossbows are just marching back for the meantime, but James is now adding TCs.
And this is the problem, right? As the TCs, as the Mangonel, and suddenly the Elite Skirm, intended as a unit to buy some defensive breathing room, is going to turn into a waste of res. Because the Cav Archers have the ability to move around the map and cause some nuisance. The Skirms are basically going to turn into a sitting duck for Mangonel shots.
Yeah, let's see. James does have a lot of food to keep the TCs running. 8 villagers in queue, and we still have like 300 food left over. Just because of the big economy left from that feudal to castle. Skirmishers and CA are moving down.
Yeah, and the skirms. I mean, the skirms are necessary, right? Because he was going to die without the skirms, probably. So I like the investment in that regard. But yeah,
Oh
it
yeah,
does. It's a big slowdown for his push here. But here we go. Let's see what these skirms can do. The Mangonel's a little bit out of position, although he doesn't want to die to the cav archers. So I definitely understand the thought of that. And look at this, Tatar's using the hills to their advantage. Has to split those skirms. Nicely
easy.
done. Splits them in perfect time. And just ushering these archers out of harm's way. Cav archers just about missing that mangonel. Actually, find it now on the edge of that wood line. So take that one out, and 2 mangonels down very, very cheaply for James, who does have a 3-1 TC lead though, so he's not going to be
Yeah.
upset about this at all. And actually taking elite scum for himself to counteract those cav archers and scorpions as well. So he's going to be very, very secure in his phone base.
And finally getting ballistics. I actually went for the university pretty much not too long after getting into Cancel Age, right? Went monastery and uni and only just getting ballistics next. I think they maybe thought they clicked it.
Mm.
And then when they started taking skirm, they're like, fuck, I actually don't have it. Because I've like not actually been hitting too much with the crossbows, so I'm not sure.
Yeah.
What went on there. Or maybe it was a deliberate choice, but I don't think it was. And there's 4th DC coming down from James now. CA, pick off the monk. Really nice.
Yeah.
Could deny that TC. I think it does get denied.
Just about. But yeah, that's the 4th TC. That's pretty scary, right? The TC will be denied. The cav archers. Well, there's a 20 bill lead, right? We saw. Who did we see? Some was it really Lara Croft? Someone like that in the round of 16 using cav archers with Huns as Huns online madness to great effect and just dipping in and out of woodlines, picking up bills, and that was against the Franks and just causing a real nuisance in their base and equalizing a Vil deficit and like a TC deficit. And Danny has to do that here as well because this could start to spiral out of control and already sort of has to some extent. The res collected is actually 4k ahead for James, so that's a big deal. Wiggles away with that. Like,
You're thinking of the good guy game and qualifiers, well, that's definitely the game you're thinking of.
That's the one I'm thinking of, yeah.
That's been, that one. Yeah, that's been the most godlike performance from Hans we've seen in the full tournament. And let's not even get bogged down of what the result of that game was. It was a good game.
It was a very good game. But this is exactly what I mean, Paradox. Look at this from Danny. Runs in the wood line. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bills down. Wood all disrupted. And yeah, Monk's gonna die as well.
Gets the Monk. Oof.
That's all you gotta do. Just keep running in and out with that, but it's so much micro. And Danny, we've seen, hasn't got the most APM. So it's going to be a different style of play for him. He's going to really have to maximize those actions per minute on those cav archers to keep them being efficient and use their ability to the best advantage.
2 knights mixed in. We get 1 scorpion. Can't get the second one. Okay, goes down now. And the other CA are coming home.
Yeah,
Danny loses quite a few there.
He does, and James is just sitting on this hill now saying, you know, I don't care, yeah, you're Tatars, but I'm allowed to use hills too, it's my turn. And just sit still on this hill and kill all the cav archers from range, and probably doesn't want to take that fight, Danny, but goes for it anyway, and the reinforcements going around the side. The cav archers are actually losing a lot of their numbers here. This is a really bad fight for Danny, and the 4th TC now does go up, and 96 to 69 villagers difference.
It's a big lead.
On the cap, bloody hell.
Oh. Okay. I think it could technically be 1 more tile forward towards the range. But that's pretty far forward, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, God.
That's kind of far forward, yeah.
Oh, there is a mangonel out for Danny. might come into play on this castle. I think it will be the first tap will come down before the mangonel can get
There's
into
too many
position.
crossbows.
And yeah, there's just too many
Even
crossbows.
then,
Written crossbows can outrange it, right?
yeah, so gonna be really tricky to even push that. And there's no way that castle doesn't go up. And James starts to use the market. Once we see that, we know what's coming next, especially with the forward castle, and there it is. And if you look at Danny's res bank,
what res?
What res? And then you look at the army count as well, Walt. If you're gonna be in Castle Age and your opponent's going to Imp, you really want that to be flip flopped. You want you to be in 43 army and for them to be on 15, for you to be running around still dealing some damage, and that's just not gonna happen, I'm afraid.
Yep, you're absolutely right. It's opposite land for Danny at the moment. He's just below 100 pop, whereas James is above 150. And yeah, he's been really nice with this little group of cav archers. Like, did a great job that raid on the wood line. It just had to be that all game. That's the thing. It's so tough to play cav archers, I think, because you've got to be Johnny on the spot with those cav archers all the time. But here we go. James now has been made aware of these marauding troops and has a little band of skirmishers to stop them causing any more trouble. Cleans those up at home, and meanwhile forward he's cleaning up cav archers and knights, and also the mangonel might get a nice shot, but yeah, he can probably clean that up too with the long distance crossbowman shots, as we're just under a minute away from Imp. And yeah, Danny's nowhere near, the army isn't there like I said, and GG, G, and then GG is just called
G.
Oof. And James takes it.
Yeah, and do you see like how polarizing the map draft is? Someone like you have James drafting like way more of a focus on like open land maps, and Danny doing like pretty much the complete opposite.
Yeah.
And honestly, you have noticed the very different the difference in style and the preference that the players have in the maps, but the RF game did feel like a throwaway more for James.
Yeah.
And Tatars does strike me as a weirder choice. It was towards the lower end of the draft. Could have had tons, perhaps. Maybe, but Danny had a bit of a misfire in the draft and didn't even see them. But
yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not too sure now. Danny, like this Tatars pick is really. We've been talking about spanners getting thrown into the works. This is a big spanner. Well, this is a big spanner.
It is a big spanner. Is it
something like I'm really struggling to get my head around?
Because we were thinking pub. Well, I was kind of locked in on Caffey, to be honest, just based on the APM and play style and draft of the round of 16. Kind of thought that as well on Islands, but maybe that
was Danny maybe expecting something different here? Was he expecting to see? So when was Romans picked?
Second last.
No, so Tatars was picked first. Okay.
Yes. Yes, it was.
Maybe Danny. So we have seen Mezzo quite a bit at pro level now, right? So maybe Danny was thinking that Mines was going to come and try and play into like Step Lancer.
Oh wow! Actually, wait, hang on a sec. Why don't we just play Incas? Why don't we just play Incas?
I think we were thinking.
That's in vogue. I mean, I haven't quite figured out the strat behind that, but that's the very vogue thing to do right now.
Mezzo War and One Madness shivers up my spine.
I don't know, maybe, but we didn't go for it. We went for Tatars instead.
Our mate, like Romans was picked after, so this is the only thing I can like I'm trying to think. So it was like Mayans, Britons, and then like Tatar's list was picked after that round. So like there's definitely been a reaction there in the draft from James. I'm just trying to for Danny, sorry, to James's picks. I'm just trying to make sense of it. Like the Tars, unless it was a pre-planned thing just to go for the Tars, but that's generally not how drafting works. You're trying to work out what your opponent's going to do and thinking of how I can beat that. How can I get some sort of advantage? So
Yeah.
that's really the only thing I can think is maybe they thought they had a good matchup against Mayans.
Which is true, right? It is true. So I maybe that I guess that must have been it. Probably didn't expect Britons. Yeah, probably thought Britons was for Neon Mayans on my madness.
Hmm.
One thing about the draft actually as well, Paradox. Dravidian first pick.
That
4
could hurt.
islands.
That could hurt in the long run.
Yeah.
Not having to win from it. And Italians is still there for James.
Yeah.
For
Which
me,
we might see next. We're on migration.
and it is going to be migration, is it?
Yep.
Oof. And Italians and Japanese. It should be, right?
Indeed. That is
And
the
it is
Civs. Yep.
indeed. Okay. I am just launched. Let me get paused to 10. There we are. So ready when you are.
3, 2, 1, go. All right.
Let's go.
Game 4. And well, I'm confident that we've got Hallis in the red here as Italians. I'm gonna put that on the line now and go for that prediction. Someone who played Britons on that madness threw away RF and has now got Italians as his first pick for migration. And Danny Dyer, a bit of a mystery player. It's got the Japanese, a very, very strong civ in their own right. And we've seen, obviously, that you were saying about yesterday, we saw Italians on migration, mentioning the stats from Warlords. Not
Pure copium.
Yeah, like not doing too well there. Japanese have very, very strong bonuses for water play and hybrid play as well. So
yeah,
could see a good one here for the Japanese. But Italians, on paper, are very strong hybrid and water civ. So yeah, let's see how this one plays out.
And I'm starting to feel the Hallis kind of hype. Maybe throwaway for RF isn't the right word. Experimentation for sure with the Persons.
Yes,
trying to work out like how strong is this unit? Is it actually going to be able to match up versus Bengalis? And as we find out, the answer is no. But James does have Italians here, and they have everything. They have all the tools to be very successful in the map. So let's see what we do get from both players. Are we going to get feudal aggression? Are we going to get the FCs? We do see FC a bit more often these days. James hasn't. Wait, James actually hasn't found. Oh, they didn't know where the sheep is. It's fine. I thought James was maybe not. He hasn't picked them up yet. And sometimes you do have them like right up against the coastline in your starting island in migration. And if you haven't pushed your deer or you haven't found them with your own sheep, you're kind of in a situation sometimes you're like, oh my god, I don't know where my sheep are.
Yeah.
And then like with all map scripts, migration as like the older script had a really, really bad habit sometimes of not spawning with all your sheep.
Oh.
In a map where you don't you get less food. You don't get any boards, you just have the deer. And like, oh, it's the most tilting thing ever to happen.
Oh yeah. I mean that really must like make just the Dark Age is extremely tough for migration, I feel. Like, it's very on the limit. You cannot afford to mess up your build, because it will just... There's no safety net. You can't push any more deer or do anything like that. So you've got to use all the res very wisely. And that's part of why Italians are so nice, because the age ups are cheaper. So there is that little safety net of inefficiency. You're sort of allowed, as it were. Japanese get the faster working fishing ships, which is a very nice bonus in its own right.
Tankier as well, double HP, extra pierce armor, so they're going to be very difficult to push if you do get an army forward.
Yes.
Cheaper lumber camps.
Like, it's almost the point paradox where I feel like there is kind of little point in going forward against Japanese, because they're so tanky.
Oh yeah.
It takes ages.
Yeah, I do agree.
Which might mean that we're going to see an FC from James, and then that might mean that might mean we're going to see an FC from Danny. Because why would you not take the FC if there's one going?
Potentially. Look at the houses from Danny.
Ooh.
Honestly, that's really weird, because we're on a map where the build is very tight, and look how far ahead we are in pop space. That's actually really strange to see that.
Yes, that
kind of tells me this is not practiced migration. No, it's just really weird to me. To be that far ahead in pop space. But I could be mind gaming myself right now. I mean, like, you have.
Neat.
They're very neat. This is gonna look very good once you get in Feudal Age. It looks kind of ass right now in Dark Age. And like, maybe you're thinking you save the wood from the lumber camp anyway. I'm just gonna get them down and it won't make a difference. He's making more houses. 2 at a time.
Oh my god. Yeah.
There's gonna be they're gonna have headroom for like 15 pop.
Okay. And actually has 2 more villas in the queue. Blimey. Okay. And 2 more villas and 3 more fishing ships in the queue. Has 500 food now. Ready to go up to Feudal Age.
Another house. What is going on?
Well, I don't know.
What the fuck?
James has gone a very different approach. We've gone 1 dock, 8 fishing ships, faster feudal.
Second dock's up now, though.
Second dock up now, yeah. Second dock up now, but isn't really going to make too many fish from it, it looks like, because you need to save the wood for the market and blacksmith. But yeah, he's going to reach feudal just as Danny clicks up.
The res looked really good for James. The only complaint I have from James is that mill is an Athens mill.
The 1 tile gap. I think it's to get a farm space in there.
Because of the house.
Yeah. Then don't place the house there, I guess. But maybe that's the starting house.
I can see that in the long term.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just. I guess maybe it was just an adaptation to the house placement. It's a mill of an Arabia player. Yeah, in case we have a drush come in, then we have to small wall around it.
Yeah. You gotta always leave room to small wall. And wow, look at that. Market, blacksmith, and castle age straight away for James. That is really nice stuff. Yes. 12 minutes clicking up now. And yeah, feudal age isn't even in yet for Danny. He's going to have plenty of res to click up himself. But Danny is going for the Omega Boom. 4 docks, 16 fishing ships. This is getting a bit silly. This is a lot of res we're going to have coming in per minute. Market on the way. And blacksmith as well. We can't quite afford it. Now we can.
Can now. Yep. Here it comes. And that's going to be a lot of food for getting into the Castle Age. Well, it's going to be a lot of food.
What do we spend it on?
War Galley won't be any problem. Well, I guess Careening won't be any problem. Not it's going to be too much difference in Fire Wars, but does it I mean, it will help for transports getting villagers across as well.
True. Yep.
Ooh, James is going around to the north.
See that's really unfortunate for James. Because it is going to be the longer way round, and it is such a big deal whether you go the short way or the long way. It sends all 3 fires up to the north. 1 fire is now going down to the south, but I feel like Danny's actually got away with a really, really big boom here. Way bigger than James has attempted.
Yeah,
and actually,
this is very normal. Like, this is very normal at pro level, though. The amount of fish, there's maybe a couple more, but like the 10 to 14 range, you do see quite a bit. Especially with like Japanese, there's just no reason not to breed that much. Yep. And like, look at the difference in res collected now. Like, even if you lose half your fish, it has already paid off in terms of like the economy difference. It's just the matter of putting all that res into effect now. And we're gonna have villagers going across. There's a barracks going up. So I'm gonna be expecting some light calves, maybe some knights in the middle from Danny. Oh, but when he transported the scout over.
Ooh,
what?
Okay.
Huh?
That is interesting. Didn't want any bills over just yet. Obviously, he's in castle age now, so could go for the TCs if he had some bills across over there. Taking some nice engagements with the fires is Danny, but not perfect engagements. Now does get a cleanup and pulls away the weak one.
Nice, nice micro.
Forward. Not just yet, and 2 fire ships sailing in on the south side of Danny's base. We'll get a couple of fishing ships here. Looks like they'll get them, but the bulk of the fishing economy is out of harm's way up in the north. And this transport ship is just sitting, waiting for some bills. Here we go. The bills and a spearman's actually going to be loaded up. And Danny is patrolling on the shoreline for James, but the transport has just happened and Danny's not in the right place. So the TC will be placed, and I think this one will go up. We haven't got light cav in or anything. The spearman might help Danny, but I think both players are going to get TC up on the central island. Interesting, it was just 3 bills and a spearman, not 4 bills and a spearman. Across.
Yeah, it is odd, and my god, the spearman's grief in the TC. There we go. It is weird. And now we have this big food bank. We don't have the TC up yet. Like, how many TCs are we going to invest here? I was about to say, is anyone in stone yet? And just like reading my mind, Danny moving over to stone now as well. Could get the mining upgrades, and yeah, gonna get the stone mining. Okay.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Having the you're gonna really want a castle on the centre. This is a bit rough though, Paradox, for Danny around the south. There's a lot of navy coming in, and James is really threatening Danny's fishing economy now as Gillnets just comes in for Danny, so looking to try and keep those fish alive and keep them working for a bit longer in this game.
A couple of demos are vault.
Yeah, the demos
are huge.
Oh, and also that transport ship has got 4 bills in. Do not want to lose that to any demos or fire galleys. Sends it across now. And yeah, we'll just take that one safe. Fire's taking some good trades against each other as well.
Yeah, counter-attack going on the left-hand side as well. But there is a demo there. Let's get a nice engagement at first. James needs to be worried. Half of his fish is actually idle at the moment. Siege workshops for both.
Oof. Yeah, siege workshop and a monastery. This is a thing. We've seen this so many times on migration. All about that monk siege push, because you end up building a TCs within touching distance of each other, basically. So nothing to get in the way of those that siege monk push being very, very powerful indeed. He's got to be careful to lose his scout to a conversion there. Second TC up for James. The stone count is looking good for Danny. James is not on stone. That is a bit of a big difference, because if Danny can get a castle up, we're not going to see a repeat of the shenanigans we saw in Game 5 of the set yesterday, with the castles next to the Petard War and Rams and all sorts, which decided the series in the end. It's going to be a solo castle. Here we go, and it places it actually just south or just north of his TC. Sorry.
Second mango's about to pop out.
Oh boy! And the mangoes get a couple of hits on the villagers. Don't kill many. They get 2. It actually deletes the castle foundation.
Oh,
place it more defensively. That is.
I'm surprised. Why did we not just build from the right-hand side?
Wow. Okay. Showing a lot of respect.
Gonna go for the help.
Replace it.
Just wants to play it safe. I'm kind of interested in the range addition. I don't fully understand it.
Not made anything from it yet, right?
No. And like there's a relic to the right hand side here, so I mean the standard open is to go like Siege Monk. Why? Yeah. Oh, we even pulled the villagers off early from the castle. Like, why did we not go for a monastery? What are we making a range for?
Well, I guess we're going for Arbs, right? That's the plan. And we're so close to Imp.
We are. And actually, water's looking really good for Danny on the left-hand side now.
Yeah. That's a good point. He's done really well on the water. 6 fishing ships alive for James. 15 for Danny, and Imp on the way now. The res collected has evened up a little bit, but 500 or so ahead is Danny Dyer. So that's a good effort from him to keep the difference present there on the water. And it's made itself known because the 47-70 Vil lead for James, but the fishing ships are keeping it in it and making the eco difference look pretty even.
Yeah. Redocking to the right hand side as well as Danny. That's like a very nice touch for migration.
Oh yeah, that's nice. Yeah, even more fish. Oh, and Jane's gonna dock as well. Danny might spot this.
Who's gonna get the dock up first? And James does.
Spots it though, and he can wall in the Vil or do some other attack on that villager or dock as soon as he notices that one in his vision. James is still quite a way away from Imp. Obviously, Italians get the cheaper Imperial Age. Still, James is a bit of a way away. I think it's going to be Trebs and Arbs for Danny.
I think it's literally just going to be CA, the new and improved Japanese CA.
Oh, CA, of course. Yes, CA.
And
Plus
like,
2 attack versus archers, right?
Yeah, like the new and improved, and it also works against skirms as well, so they kind of melt like everything at the moment. And it's like an easy one to forget. James, the market prices, Imp isn't too far away, but we're still talking like 2.5 minutes. We sell some res here. It isn't too far away. We don't even have like a castle right now for James to like buy time. And yeah, starting to use the market.
Okay, well, this is really make or break. Danny Dyer is 2-1 down. If he wants to take it to Game 5, which he obviously does, he'll need to dig deep here because he has a window of opportunity. And I feel like the window is slipping shut, which is not a bad thing. I think he's still ahead. But I feel like the window is sliding shut on him. You have to get some compensation for going up first with less villagers. Otherwise, James is going to happily sit back, take the more res he's going to get on the way up. Like you can see the res numbers evening out now. The fish has kind of run its course for both players. And the 2 TCs in the middle, the more stronghold in the middle is going to make itself known. So Danny's got to get some stuff done. He's got the tools to do it. He's got Trebs on the way, the Cav archers as well, picking off the monks and the monasteries and the buildings. This is make or break. And
that is MTC, sorry. That is MTC.
Oh my god. That is the MTC, and that's so smart for Danny just to go for it. Not trying to waste any time with the monastery or anything else.
That's going to
deny Imp halfway through.
It's like 400, yeah. It's going to be 2
oh
more
my god.
Instead.
That is massive. and that window has just opened.
Bruh. And like the transition was actually, I was like, this is really slow for Danny. We got like one
Yeah.
Trev out, we're not doing too much more else. Like I was expecting like another castle in the
Yep.
face. And like that sniping a TC has bought a lot more time.
That was so clutch. So clutch. One Kavach gets converted, but it's really not that big a deal for Danny. He'll be very happy with the way this is going so far. He obviously doesn't know he's just denied Imp, but he'll know in about half a minute's time, when Imp isn't in, I suspect, that something good has happened on his side. These Kavachs now are a real problem. They're not afraid of the Mangonel at all. Can run and snipe a ton of vills. Got Bracer, of course, in for those Kavachs. The relics pop out of that monastery. Adding a stable now, I guess, for husbandry and bloodlines. Elite Skirm teched in for James, obviously very strong against the Cav Archers. There's fire ships taking down a TC. That's not the second Imp TC, which would be very funny if it was.
Oh my god, imagine. Did he go for home? Yeah, he went for the home.
Yeah, he went for home. Very smart. Very, very smart.
Eventually smart, yeah.
But yeah, the primary defense against Cav Archers right now is monks, which is very volatile as an option. Thing is though, the skirms are going to start to pop off. Like, the Cav Archer production is good, but the skirms are going to do quite well. I guess they haven't even got Bodkin yet though, so they're very, very under upgraded. I think Danny just has this, and we're going to go to game 5.
Yeah, I think I prefer Genbo enemy. But
oh, right, okay.
Like, you don't really have, like Genbo BBC could be pretty sick, but I just don't think James has anywhere near enough time to get to it.
That's the thing with Japanese CA as well, like, that new bonus, this is just terrifying to deal with for James. And they CA can just sit on a hill, shoot downhill at those skirms and Gembo. Meanwhile, the Chebs pack up, roll on forward, take out the castle, take out the rangers, and, well, these two players going toe-to-toe, the Vil numbers have evened themselves out a little bit. It's still 20 Vil lead for James, but as we pan back to this fight, party and tactics coming in. Skirmishers have to really put on a bit of a clinic here. They will do quite well, even without Bracer. They will do quite well. One armor comes in on them. This castle is a good one. I think it's just out of Treb range, I believe, so that's a good start at least. It means that James can't just snipe it down straight away. Wouldn't mind Nonja for Danny. Sorry, not Nonja, a Mangonel. Just to make those skirms have to shuffle a little bit more than they are.
Yeah, I think you can just invest in more CA. Especially with the hill. It's probably just as effective to just make more CA on the hill, and yeah, GG.
GG is called, and the series is tied up, so this is the way they've drafted, right? Open land maps for one player, and closed land and water maps for the other player. And that has been the sort of way the series has gone. The series is tied up at 2-2.
Yes, indeed, which means should be advantage James in all theory going into the last map. Since it's Neom, right?
Vinny's it's going to be a game 5 on Neom.
And it should be a Mayans versus what? Lithuanians was picked.
Lithuanians are strong, and Lithuanians are good against Mayans, right?
Maybe if you can forward them. But are we really going to see lifts? Feels like what was lifts picked for? Even though they were picked for, I feel like they're shining more in a migration. Potentially.
Lifts are shining more. I don't think gonna play Incas into mines on this one.
like in comparison to like Neon, like.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I think it's a good on Neon. The question is, Paradox, is this where we bust out the Romans?
No.
No? Okay.
Nah, not when you have Mayans. That would be a huge surprise.
Should we jump into it?
We had someone that played Britain's on Land Madness, and you really think they're going to play Romans here?
I guess that is a good point. That is a very good point.
Archer's going to Archer.
Incans will be amazing versus Mayans and Meso ranks on Neum. Ooh. I don't. Why are Incans good against Mayans? Eagle. Of course. Eagle Mirror. They slap with Slinger. Yes, that's a good idea. Well, maybe that's what we're going to see. In fact, that is going to be the matchup.
I'm paused at 10. Well, good to go whenever you are.
Same here. 3, 2, 1, go. Well, here we are then. It is going to be Incas against Mayans in this best of fives final game. All come down to this. You see red, blue, red, blue. The final game of the series. Can Danny Dyer pull off the... Well, it would be an upset. And we had that yesterday. I think everyone was thinking Noel Gallagher was probably the slight underdog to Brum yesterday. And he did prevail in that clutch Game 5. Is Danny Dyer a Game 5 player? Incas against Mayans on Neon. And this map, obviously, should suit the playstyle of someone who plays Britain's Online Madness. But what's Danny Dyer got in the tank here?
Is he shitting himself right now? That's what I want to
know. Yes. Oh, maybe he is.
Goes around the UK looking for the best football forms, looking for the best fights. I don't think he was expecting to have his best fight against James Corden. If you told that to Danny Dyer, he would be embarrassed.
That is exactly the sort of thing that Danny Dyer would get scared about, though.
Nah, I mean Danny's busy insulting former prime ministers and whatnot, and he's not scared of anybody.
He doesn't get nervous; just gets a little bit shaky. You happy?
That's he's going to be on it next year. What's his name? Tom.
Yeah, what is his name?
Tom Skinner. That's it.
Tom Skinner. Yes.
That's not too obscure for me, but I know some people. Oh, I don't even know who he is.
I don't know anything about him other than that clip.
He sells mattresses, as far as I'm aware.
He sells mattresses.
I swear to God, I'm sure he's a mattress salesman.
Okay.
And if that's not one of the most British things I've ever heard, I don't know what.
That's an honest job. That's an honest day's work filling mattresses.
That's a proper blue collar man right there. Proper working class.
Let's see. We're actually going to take in 2 deer already on the side of Danny Dyer, and James Corden has got that plan as well. Ooh, building the barracks means that the deer actually is going to reset, which is kind of unfortunate. He's going to push it the long way around now. Goes the long way around the wood line. But yeah, pretty similar stuff from both players. I guess there's a bit of a difference. You can see it's 3 on wood versus 4 on wood. But yeah, not a great deal in that. And the Vil is on the wrong side of the barracks, as Fanji points out. So is that Vil going to go forward, or are we just building the barracks there? The Vil has got loom, of course, it has Mayans. Yeah, it's just going to run home now, it looks like. These eagles can fight up against each other. Feels like Meso on Neon was quite nice, because the eagles mean you can take a fight against the opponent's scout.
In Dark Age.
In Dark Age, which is pretty good. But obviously, both players Meso in this scenario. But yeah.
And here come the militias. 2 for James. It's feeling very Arabia-like. Someone that has a lot of experience on Arabia. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink, wink.
Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. And the militias for Danny a little bit later.
Oh, yeah. Kills 2 Dyer.
Danny does click up. Ooh.
So, well, breakfast. I mean, James is going to run around the back of the wood line here. And Danny is small walling in the gold already. Very smartly done. Oh, and Danny going out for the mill, but has to be careful here of these militia. They're just agonizing the one tile out of the range of the TC. Could garrison in the TC now, but that's pretty good for Danny, to be fair. Taking away that much HP on those militia is a bit of a result. I think that's quite good.
Yeah, and it's kind of a risk for James to like dive in for that mill, to be honest, when it's like so close to the TC range.
Yeah.
Or he's like kind of deliberating about it if he's gonna go for it. If there's like a weak Vil, or you could just like weaken it down, maybe you can find something. And on the other side, Danny is coming forward with his own 2 militia and the Eagle Scout.
Ooh, getting
in a similar
trapped.
situation, James does have decent numbers.
Yeah, the Eagle gets trapped in there and the Vils take it out. Both players are trading off here. The difference is that James went... Well, it's not Drush FC, but it's Drush into more Dark Age investment later feudal, which is going to pay off into a stronger economy in the feudal age. You can see the res collected are higher now for James because of the more Vils working for longer. Goes on to gold only now and adds the range. So that's the plan for both players, it looks like. Drush into archers.
2 range.
2 range.
2 ranges.
Yep. 2 range. Wow, I guess that's what you can afford if you go up a bit later.
Danny, only single range on the other side. Adding some archers himself.
Yep, takes
Doesn't
out that
see
militia.
the ranges just quite yet, but it won't be a huge surprise in what mines are going for.
No, it won't. I think maybe seeing 2 range would be nice to know. Because that isn't necessarily a given, especially when you just see 4 on gold.
Yeah, potentially.
It's not immediately obvious he's going to go for 2 range, but I guess he was up so late that something is cooking, I guess, for James here. But yeah, let's see what Danny can confirm. He's going to chase this archer back, actually now just running away from it, so won't find that information out currently. As the archers garrisoned inside the range for now. Well, actually, no.
Waltz.
2 archers and an eagle coming forward. Adds a new eagle, that's interesting.
Oh yeah, right hand side to see it now. Yeah. 50 gold. A small investment. Does take a while to recreate as well, but I guess just wants to have something a bit tankier that can get you some more scouting info, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, and it's really good against skirms, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, there's still going to be archers mixed in.
True. It takes a long time to produce, but if that's the first thing you do when you get up to feudal, you just make an eagle. The length of time doesn't really matter too much. You can just get away with that one.
The issue for me is more the cost, especially when you're only in single range. But like, Hash 5 and gold anyway, so they're going to be floating a little bit. Production's actually stalling out, so maybe Danny is just wanting to get these walls up and mark it up.
I think so. There's the market and there's a house at the front, so he's going to make himself a little base and sit within that base. James is going to try and put his foot to the pedal to the floor, and get some damage done. Got 2 range production non-stop, basically. Look at the production on those. 96% and 81%. Really good effort on those archer ranges to keep them working all the time. That market is just denied for the time being. This is a very awkward moment for Danny. This market gets denied. It'll cause him massive issues trying to get up. The blacksmith, of course, will be a second building, so that's fine from that regard, but probably wanted to sell his stone, I'm assuming.
I think definitely, yeah, or the wood. And now we're gonna have to either stall it at TC. Nope, we're adding more bells. We're now adding more. You have to just commit more than you have to commit a couple of bells and duds. So baits the 3-1 on the right hand side, gets the market up. James is first to the market anyway.
Oh no, that's unfortunate. Yeah, a bit more gold for that stone he's sold. Both players on very, very similar res counts in the bank. What's that? Wow, okay. What? Danny buys back 100 stone and clicks up at the same time. Ooh.
What?
Well, I guess if you're going to place a second TC, you want to buy the back stone at some point, and why not buy it now, I suppose. But yeah, I'm surprised he could afford to do that.
I think it's more for... Is it more for the chance you're going to put stone walls down here?
Oh, right.
Like, at least hopefully I don't need to use it, and I can put it down for a TC, but maybe I'm going to have to, like, fill something really quickly. Not going to have the stone for a tower either.
Yeah, 106 stone for Inca Tower, that's the thing. Second range now for Danny, but this is the trouble, right? James has been on 2 ranges this whole time, and is up quicker, so the army numbers are in his favour, and the tech will be in his favour as well. Only by a few seconds, but that's all you really need, to be honest. And this house will die quite fast. You go for the palisade wall as well, to be fair. The house will die quite quickly as well, and more houses rushed up behind with Danny as the archers move forward, and some good HP tapped down on those. So yeah, I think he's bought himself a lot of time here with that house wall, which is all he needs to do really. Crossbow Bodkin comes in, and I think we're looking at a siege workshop defense for Danny because he's gotten kind of out of hand, to be honest.
I think so. I'm kind of surprised that I added another range here. And no sign of a siege shop yet.
Ooh, yeah, has lots of wood in the bank. There's the stone walls you were talking about. Yeah, good call on that. That was what the stone was for, I think. And there's the siege shop.
Danny's a bit flustered.
He's getting a bit flustered. Game 5 maybe does get to him a little bit, but yeah, some bills are looking kind of idle. Bodkin arrows coming in now, but it's a little bit later than James. He's already got Bodkin in now, getting second armor on these archers. Siege shop is up now and can start making a mangonel, and that just the threat of that is going to scare James off. Meanwhile, he's forward though, Danny.
Yeah, I actually picked up a couple of bells. Siege Workshop on the way from James as well, and is up now. Mangonel coming out for both players. And James is making moves to go home. Has a big army advantage at the moment.
Oh,
They put up the university. Very similar to Land Madness Ball. Puts up the university. And maybe a little bit of wishful thinking.
Yeah. It's so expensive. Like university and ballistics is what 600
University.
wood, right? Or
It's
500
more
wood.
the fact. It's more the fact you had to make a siege workshop as well.
True.
Like
True.
university ballistics should be fine, but the moment you put the siege workshop up and you have to make a mangonel, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
In terms of your time in there for ballistics.
Definitely the right call though. Had to get that mangonel out just to protect from those crossbows who were threatening to break through the palisade walls. And James now, yeah, doesn't want to get too deep into the base there because the mangonels are ready to pounce on those archers if they make one wrong step forward. 88 stone in the bank. James actually buys 100 and he places the second TC. Just outside the front of his base. Not going to the oasis with that. And same thing for Danny.
Yeah, but it's gold for Danny.
There is gold there, yeah.
James weird from James.
That. Well, yeah, it's a very positional TC, right?
And you have your ranges there anyway.
Hmm. Yeah, true.
Like, just delete the palisade. If you want to, like, get some more wood, just delete your palisades and put the TC on the gold. I think. It's like, it's very nitpicky, but it seems slightly odd to me. Obviously, we have the army forward. We're a bit more concerned about not losing numbers, controlling the mangonels, and the mangonels forward from James now. And one big mango shot could, like, change the game.
Oof, well, there's one. Takes out James's mangonel. That does give Danny some respite. The village numbers are very even, although James is now adding a third TC, which Danny cannot afford to do just at the moment. And also James is looking to try and exploit any weaknesses he can find in Danny's base, but yeah, the stone walls and houses from earlier do a good job, and also Danny is very much aware of this little band of archers down the south and has a mangonel there to defend. House walling behind his weak palisades and bringing a mangonel back to deal with these archers, the main bulk of archers on the western side of his base as well. And actually, Danny now feels that it's his turn to go forward across the map and pose a threat to James's base.
Which might be tricky. Our TC coming up from James now. Takes the gold at the back. Has a siege workshop already, mind you. Mangonel out. Mangonel's coming forward as well, but disconnected from... Well, imagine making one eagle right now.
That's all he needs, right?
Literally just needs one eagle.
Yeah. I guess the mangonel's just setting up shop there, and the archers had a look around the side to see what they could see, but doesn't matter. They're just going to come back now and keep the mangonel protected. All the while, Danny is slightly falling behind in economy, and losing a mangonel like that stalls the push out somewhat. So this is looking rough. And look at the rest of the bank.
Big shot. That was a big shot in the crossbow.
Oh, I just missed it. Oops.
Lots of HP gone as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, 204 now. Out of a total 419. Could eat some more going into the TC.
Oh my god.
No. Look at the bodies. Look at their bodies at the floor.
Shot it.
And something's got to give. It looks like it might be Danny here. With James Corden matching on.
It does look a bit like it. Ballistics has come in for these archers now. 29-6 army, and the mangonels have to be heroes here. We've got 800 gold in the bank, Paradox, and a ton of vills coming forward.
we're buying a castle, baby.
Cooking. Incan castles are cheaper. Nice shot on the crossbows. It's a lot of those kills, and also some HP lost on the ones that did survive. This could be the moment. So this could be
We're buying a castle, baby.
Danny's only chance. Buys the stone. Needs a bit more stone.
It's not cheap.
Needs even more stone than that, right? How much stone is it? 6
Still need to
something.
buy another 100.
There we go. Okay, the monk is going to try its best, but the 2 mangonels there, I don't think it can be denied. There's no eagles out in the field either, so the mangonels are pretty safe. The only thing would be converted villages, but yeah, the crossbows go down. James can try and counterattack, but this now is a complete base trade. Castle percentage 50%. I'm going to leave that on the screen, but also I'm going to look forward at James's.
All the mangoes are forward.
All
the mangoes are forward.
God.
Why did we not leave one at home?
We need one at home. We need one at home. That
Why
house
did we not
was
leave
too
one
late.
at home? Disaster.
The castle completes. The mangonels are working away on this TC, but can the crossbow get some value in return? I think they definitely can. There's 83 to 47 vills, so we're all in here on this push. And James Corden just has to hold on for Imperial Age, I suppose, or well, he doesn't really need him. He just needs to carry on doing what he's doing inside the base of Danny Dyer. The mangonels now are coming back home, or at least mangonels producing backwards into Danny Dyer's base. He's going to try and clean up those crossbows, which have caused him such trouble while that castle was going on. But Danny is working away now on the second TC of James Corden, but loses 2 mangonels to the other mangonel from James. Loses the third as well, so that was a 3-for-1 trade. Aye. That's not what he wants right now, and actually now I'm going to switch him to eagles. Siege workshop forward, and 2 barracks as well. The scorpions and mangonels doing a good job of cleaning up the enemy crossbows, but really nice micro from James Corden at the back of Danny's base, splitting the archers up very well. Combined on these 3 archers, only 22 HP, but done a good job to distract for as long as he possibly can, just keeping Danny's attention focused anywhere else other than his base. Eagle Warrior tech comes in, scale mail armor, and we're all in Castle Age Paradox for Danny Dyer.
Yeah, and with 55 bells against 94, it's gonna have to be some Castle Age, and if we're going all in Castle Age at minute 35 and we have only 4 army, something's went wrong. Something's went wrong, and James has clicked up to him. And we don't see them too often. We might have a GG on him in a game 5. But knowing how the games have went so far in the series, maybe not.
Maybe not. This one Eagles found some good value here on the right hand side. Oops, sorry. As the bills going out to the gold are denied, well, at least partially, but the monk and the eagles do unite to take out that one eagle warrior. Thank you, Ollie. But yeah, it's just a simple numbers game, right? 108 to 69 population.
Yeah, it's a big difference. There is 2 eagles out in the gold on the right hand side. That is kind of nice from Danny. The relatively quick reaction from James and does pull the villagers back. But already making eagles of their own, getting a better upgrades when we get to Imp.
Oh, yeah,
look
of course, yeah.
Look at that mining camp to the left hand side from James. And the north of the map.
Oh my goodness, that's a nice one. That is beautiful.
That's correct. That's correct.
Still has 2 relics in that monastery, by the way, just ticking away this whole time. Underneath the castle.
Yeah. It'll be dead soon enough. And I fear that Danny's about to throw his last punch.
Oh no, Imp comes in. No resign instantly, but Eagle Warrior is instant. Sorry, Elite Eagle Warrior is instant. And, well, we've got +2 armor, +1 attack on these eagles. There's nothing really at home to defend. Obviously, TCs aren't particularly good against killing eagles because the eagles have so much PS armor. So, and there's only there's Bodkin. There's Bodkin for Danny Dyer, but this is going to be very, very rough indeed. Elite Skirm is interesting for James. I'm really sure we need that, to be honest. But
yeah,
just in case.
Kind of shaking my head at what Elite Eagles for.
plate mail armor makes a lot of
Sorry,
sense.
not Elite Eagle, Elite Skirm. That is
Elite
kind of
Skirm.
odd. Yeah.
Sorry, did I say Elite Eagle? Yeah, I meant Elite Skirm.
No, I said Elite Eagle. You said Elite
Okay.
Skirm. I
Yeah,
ended up saying because we've got Eagles on the field, and I'm looking at Eagles, and I'm like, okay, we're getting Elite Eagle coming in, and I'm seeing this skirmisher tag, and I'm like, what?
Do skirms kill slingers?
Yes, but I don't think Danny's going to be able to make enough slingers anyway.
Yeah, James probably just covering himself. Like, you've got to just protect against any chance of losing here. I suppose it is game 5, right? You can't afford any shenanigans to cost you a cheap game. There's no other option but to win this one if you want to win the series.
Yep.
The army numbers have evened themselves out, but it's just a simple difference in quality of army. Like, the quality of army of James Corden's army is so much stronger. Last armor and Elite Eagle Warrior is a massive difference.
Yeah, extra attack, what about extra HP? Does have the last armor, true. Skirmishers coming out. Numbers are decent though for Danny.
Yeah, it's like a nice fight there, to be fair.
There's actually a couple of the Eagles just standing there, didn't sweet F all, didn't really understand.
GG, well played, Hallis. Good luck next.
Wall.
Poor Danny Dyer. Massive props to Danny Dyer there. Really, really good player and a good sportsman. But couldn't quite hold on there. And yeah, obviously makes himself very clear in who he thought he just played up against there. And if it was Hallis, he should be very happy to take 2 games off him. But couldn't win the series. 3-2 to James Corden. And he moves on to face Noel Gallagher in the semi-final. Best of 7.
Who done this last year? Very similarly. So GG, well played, Dervoy.
Did Cappy say that?
It was Cappy that said that.
Oh.
And now we have the parallel this time.
Everyone who played him did that?
I think it was it was Cappy that started it. No? I mean, it can't just be everyone who did it. It has to start somewhere.
I did it first, yeah.
Well, so everyone just pretending to be him.
Oh god.
So we thought it was a rodent. We now have a parallel there where it could be him. And taking 2 games off Hallis would certainly be fantastic. I think the map draft also makes a lot of sense to be a Cappy draft. And also the kind of maps where you'd be expecting Hallis to win.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing, right? I thought it was Cappy, but I've kind of lost that feeling, to be honest, now.
Yeah, I mean, my initial thinking from the first series was like, boo. The Tatars pick has kind of thrown me off a bit, but I'm not 100% sure.
I'm sad we're not going to see Dennis Semenis play again, because I kind of want to see Dennis Semenis.
I know, right? You want a bigger sample size.
So yeah, because I was sure that was Dan MT, but now that's who I think Danny Dyer is Dan MT. It'd also be quite funny if Danny Dyer was Dan MT.
I know, right? I was thinking the same thing. Dan could be Dan. I think it is possible that Dan is Dan.
It definitely is possible. Yeah, that's the Dan pick. But everything else is Cappy. Is everything else Cappy?
I think a lot of it is, but then
a lot of it is, yeah.
I think Tatars is like a major red flag. In all honesty. for me, it's a major red flag. But just trying to like make sense of the draft and why you would go to Tars.
Yeah, exactly.
That was like my guessing. So I don't know, and I'm excited to find out. Let's put it that way.
Oh, I can't wait. Yeah. Oh, it's so good. It's only next weekend we're going to find out. It's very, very exciting. Not that long left at all.
True.
It's flown by, the tournament.
It's been very fast.
But, well, I did kind of accelerate the structure a bit. Yeah, it's good. I think it's good to keep things going. Danny equals Atten.
Shut up, Fanji.
I can see Atten losing to Hallis. I think that makes sense as a result.
Yes, of course it does.
It's breakfast versus breakfast. Breakfast has got the most airtime out of any participant. Like, he's been discussed more than anyone. And I still don't know who he is. Oh god, I really am not sure. Like, what the other thing is, I'm kind of now in a twist about whether or not Lewis was actually not Brum. Who is? Oh no, Lewis isn't. Yeah, Lewis. Who was I thinking Lewis was? Someone else who wasn't Gordon Ramsay, basically. Adele? No, I think Richard's Adele.
Yeah, and I think the account deletion kind of tracks with Dickie as well.
It'll be cool to see Raven play. That will definitely uncover some mysteries, because obviously it's tough without that.
I'm not sure we saw Ted, who was hard to spot last year, but I feel like we've maybe not saw him.
Who have I got down as Ted? Let me check my little.
I don't really have anybody.
Oh, I do have Ted down. Should I tell you who I think Ted is?
Hit me with the copium.
Jay from In-Betweeners. Artie's got the same.
I can see it, but I'm not 100% sure.
Oh my god! Next set is Noel versus James Corden, best of 7. I mean, if it is Dave versus Hallis, like, it doesn't, even if it's not, it doesn't matter who it is. We've seen the two players as solid.
Hallis. Breakfast.
Sorry, breakfast versus Hallis. Get back in that basting tin. Think breakfast give it a shot, but you'll be too strong. Yeah, probably.
I don't know, man. Breakfast is cooking out some strats.
Like, Noel beat Brum, and Brum 3-0'd Adele. James Corden got taken to 5 games versus Danny Dyer, is not infallible by any means. I honestly think Noel has a chance in this one. Like, it's absolutely not out of the realms of possibilities. Best of 7 will be harder, in all fairness. Like, you're going to be struggling on that, especially because you cannot dodge Arabia and so on for much longer in this best of 7 draft. But yeah, it's going to be a big set, that one. It could go the distance. I think
for sure.
It's going to be a long one. It's not going to be a 4-gamer, I don't think. Maybe it will. That's the thing. Sometimes it just has got very evenly matched players, and then it just goes over quickly. But yeah, a very even set, for sure.
Especially the way the series went today. It was very like, well, you can just look at the map draft, right? Danny went in. Yeah, it's like it virtually came down to like the islands game being a difference outside of the home maps.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so James definitely has weaknesses to be exploited
and Noel's going to have to, make full use of those. And obviously, he's probably been watching this game and can put those into practice. Try and catch up some strats.
Alice was watching earlier on tonight as well. So, do you
Ooh.
know what? I think the meta for like the more uncommon chatters is when they're watching their own games to be overly critical of the player that's playing.
Mm-hmm.
And be like, oh my god, this is such a dumb thing to do. Oh, no one's gonna expect it. It's me. I'm ahead of you guys. I am ahead of you. I know your game. I've saw it all before. So what actually happened? And now that I mention it, the other Dickie confirmed for Adele is I don't think we've seen Dickie at any streams. So just gonna throw that out there. But Dickie, we miss you and we love you.
Yes, obviously a big favorite player of many in the Discord. Well, everyone is. Everyone very close community. But yeah, Richard obviously one of the longest playing members. And yeah, it'd be very sad if it was Adele for him to go out in the round of 16. But that is the way the cookie crumbles on the randomly seeded tournaments. Sometimes you get Brum, it's just very tough. Round of 16. But okay, Paradox, I've got a pumpkin pie to make.
And I've got sleep to attend to.
Yeah. And thanks everyone for watching. Tomorrow there will be a stream, contrary to first announcement. And it's going to be Basil Fawlty versus Lara Croft. Oh boy, and I'm looking at my predictions for those, and I see very strong names in there as well.
Bug abuser.
The bug abuser. The bug abuser returns to strike again. So yeah, let's see if we can keep up the theme of 5-game sets in the quarterfinals. That'd be awesome if we could. Thanks everyone, and thanks Paradox. Great cast as usual. See you. I won't see you tomorrow, but yeah, see you on the weekend for the 4th quarterfinal, maybe.
What time is it? I do have a tournament set on Saturday, so I need. We'll
It's
check
on
in.
Sunday. On Sunday, I've got a set on Saturday as well.
Okay, nice. I should be fine for that.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. Well, anyway, see you then, and thanks everyone for chatting, and see you all next time.